across beds, hearts and bucks.
This is BBC Three Counties Radio.
It's 6 o'clock. I'm Simon Oxley. The headlines: Wickham heading for Wembley, extra time agony for Stevenage. Bedfordshire Police tackling homophobic hate crime, and Memorial Garden vandalised at Milton Keynes Hospital.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Wycombe Wanderers are through to the League Two playoff final at Wembley after beating Plymouth at Adams Park last night. Gareth Ainsworth's side won 2-1 on the night and 5-3 on aggregate.
Mentally preparing the boys was important because Plymouth had the momentum. They'd scored 2 in the last 5 minutes at home park, so the first goal was crucial today, and it's just been a fantastic day, and thank you so much to everyone who's been a part of this season.
And Wycombe will face Southend at Wembley next Saturday after they beat Stevenage 3-1 after extra time. Graham Westley's side lost 4-2 on aggregate.
I can't believe that we went as far as we did, but they kept surprising me, and it wouldn't have surprised me to see them go all the way, but also fell slightly short tonight. We'll have a look at it, and I'm sure that as players they'll come back stronger next year.
Bedfordshire Police are calling for people to report homophobic hate crime. They say people need to have the courage to report this type of crime so they can tackle it more effectively. They've raised the rainbow flag at police headquarters in Kempston as part of a worldwide celebration of sexual and gender differences. More from Carol Abercrombie.
Bedfordshire Police say that despite progress towards legal equality, many people still live in fear of homophobic or transphobic hate crime. Chief Inspector Tanya Coulson, who leads on tackling this type of crime in the county, says it's underreported and they're calling on the public's help to tackle it. The force also has a team of lesbian and gay liaison officers to support the communities locally.
Nigel Farage has dismissed calls from within UKIP to stand down as the party's leader, insisting he still has phenomenal support. He was speaking on the BBC's Question Time programme last night. David Cameron will have his first meeting since the election with Scotland's First Minister Nicola Sturgeon. Mr Cameron will explain his plans for devolving more powers to the Scottish Parliament. A memorial garden for babies and children at Milton Keynes Hospital has been vandalised. One parent has now set up an online page to raise funds to repair it. More from Matt Lockwood.
The Memorial Garden was opened last year to help parents deal with the trauma of losing a baby or a child. At its centre is a water feature which has been smashed, and a number of large stones have also been taken. Parents have been left horrified by the vandalism, taking to social media to vent their anger. One parent has now set up an online fundraising page to help pay towards the cost of repairs. Police want anyone who has information to contact them.
And a lollipop man has been sacked after he stopped a fire engine on its way to a 999 call in Luton. Firefighters had to physically remove the crossing attendant from the street outside William Austin Junior School last month. Luton Borough Council had initially suspended him pending an investigation. The weather brightening up after a cloudy start with some sunny spells, a maximum temperature 16 degrees Celsius, and you can get the latest news and sport online at bbc.co.uk/3 counties.
Thank you, Simon. Guys, Iain Lee, BBC Three Counties Radio. It's Friday. What pictures have you got in your bathroom stroke toilet? Other stuff, homophobia, vandalism, and that plum lollipop man is gone. Thank goodness for that. 08459 455 555.
Across beds, hearts and bucks.
This is BBC Three Counties Radio.
There's something not right in my ears, but it doesn't matter. Oh, hang on a second. There we go. We'll have a little bit of this. Shh, 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 shh. Shh. Here it comes.
Something's coming. in his pants.
Iain Lee, BBC Three Counties Radio. All the music, of course, comes from records on a Friday. No. I've got a record here that I don't know what it is. Percy Faith, themes from the In Crowd, for the In Crowd. It's got some great tunes on there. You've Got to Hide Your Love Away, Let's Hang On, Make It Easy on Yourself, and the cover is two people on car phones, but in the 60s?
Wow.
Car phones in the 60s?
Are all those hits going to be sung by Percy Faith?
Well,
though?
I don't know. I'm assuming because it's got the word themes in, it's instrumentals. You'd be instrumental not to buy it. Says Percy Faith. And every time I flick through my albums and I see it, I go, oh, I've got a Percy Sledge. Oh, it's Percy Faith.
Yeah.
So we'll have some of that in a bit. 08459 455, what pictures have you got in your bathroom stroke toilet? And also, does anybody still... My sister has this. Does anybody still have a separate toilet? Oh. Because no one knocked through to the bathroom. I always associate it with my nan. Do you know what? I'm going to write a letter to the people who live in my nan's house. Apparently they're a Chinese family. And ask if I can go and have a look around.
Well, good luck with that.
I'll have a go. I mean, why wouldn't they?
They can only say no.
I think the 11 o'clock show was quite big in China. I think. I'm not totally sure. Now, Bedfordshire Police... they could say yes as well. There are two options.
No, they're going to say no.
Well, you don't know that.
They could say no, or they could say no more strenuously and swearing.
Yeah, OK. Bedfordshire Police are calling for people to have the courage to report homophobic hate crime. The force says that despite progress towards legal equality, many people still live in the fear of the crime, which goes underreported in the county. Well, today the rainbow flag is being raised at police headquarters in Kempston as part of a celebration of equality. Catherine, what the hell is going on?
Well, this rainbow flag will be flying all weekend in support of International Day Against Homophobia, Transphobia and Biphobia, which takes place on Sunday.
What about phobia? That doesn't get mentioned enough.
Well, that's another day.
OK.
Police will be promoting the help and support available for lesbian, gay, bisexual and transgender communities this week, highlighting the role of their dedicated lesbian and gay liaison officers and hosting a web chat to discuss issues.
Web chat? I mean... There's a lot about this story that confuses me.
Yeah.
Why is homophobic hate crime underreported?
Well, it's an impossible question. Some people shrug it off, I guess. Some will be afraid of making a fuss. Some won't have the confidence that anything will be done if they do come forward. But whatever the reason, the police have found that despite significant progress towards equality in law, many are still living in fear of homophobic or transphobic hate crime. Chief Inspector Tanya Coulson is the force lead for hate crime, and she told us that hate crimes or incidents targeting sexual orientation are the second most reported hate crime strand in Bedfordshire. The other one being racial, I would imagine. We're encouraged to see an increase in the number of people having the courage to come forward, but we need more. Hate crime's an underreported crime. We need your help to tackle it.
How big a part can lesbian and gay liaison officers play?
Well, they're hoping a big one. Bedfordshire Police have a dedicated team of these officers.
Kath.
I mean, come on, otherwise why would they do it?
A big one.
They say that these officers play a crucial role in supporting the lesbian, gay, bisexual and transgender communities, but not all forces have these officers, and whilst all police officers and staff at the force are able or trained to provide support, Bedfordshire Police recognises the value in providing the ability to speak to someone with extra understanding. Again, we've got a statement. PC Rich Dawson, one of the Laglows at Bedfordshire Police, says we work hard to help foster good relations with the community as well as being on hand to advise police colleagues dealing with these cases that affect LGBT communities. We act as a link between the two, helping them to share information and provide a shared knowledge and understanding of LGBT issues.
Okay. I mean, I don't. What's a web? Web chat. I don't know. That's story.
The thing is, the people that log on to those are people who are already active in the community, surely.
Well, no, not necessarily.
Or something.
Well, not necessarily, actually, because you could be too shy to you can be nice and anonymous.
I suppose.
You can be nice and anonymous. I just feel it's a little bit of. Just feels a little bit showing off. Do you know what I mean? Look.
What a grand gesture.
Yeah, and I don't get the flag thing. I think the flag thing's a bit silly. Do you know what I mean? I mean, it's great. I don't get it. I don't get it.
The thing that confuses me is if all the police are trained to deal with everyone equally, why do you need a special officer?
That's it. Thank you. That's kind of what I was trying to get at, and I couldn't think how to. And it just, what's the flag? Why are you making a song and dance about it? Well, surely this should be like normal.
It's just people, isn't it?
Well, we've got you actually. Let's go back to an earlier episode of the show, episode I think 362, where you said this.
It's people. Let's talk. It's people.
Yeah.
It is though.
Let's have a listen to.
She's right.
We'll explore that. There'll be people angry. I'm not angry about it. I'm not angry in the slightest. If you are angry, give us a call. I'm just a bit. Okay. Obviously, a slow news day.
Little bit, yeah.
If that's the lead, and it's not critical of anyone, we get slow news days. Trust me, there ain't nothing in the papers. Mm-hmm. But if that's the lead, it's slow news day.
Yeah, it was a bit.
Because that would be a 10. That we do one hit on that.
We were hoping to do an appeal about the claim of a victim of rape in Milton Keynes near the shopping centre. Apparently happened in broad daylight on a Sunday afternoon, but the Milton Keynes police don't want to talk about it.
Oh.
They are appealing for witnesses, though.
OK, guys. Well, that's great news for them. So this is Percy Faith. Oh, this is good. This is good.
What is it?
2, 3. Hang on a minute.
Nice.
This is better than I thought. Let's get one. Hang on a minute. This is better than I thought it was going to be. This is just truly a work of genius. Who is this Percy Faith?
I've heard of Percy Filth.
Okay, here we go. Okay, we've got track 4. You'll know this one.
Right.
Here we go.
Is that the chair?
Yes.
Is that the chair?
No, it's clearing my throat. Now goodbye. True love takes a lot of trying. Oh, I'm dying.
I'll explain the voice. Oh.
Here we go. Let's hang on to what we got. Don't let go, girl. We got a lot of love between us. Hang on to what we got. At my door, tell me myself, and don't do no more. Give it up. I should just be. Give it up. I forgot this bit was going to be here. You got me crying at my door, coming back now, baby, coming back for more. Let it go. I wish we both been started. Can't wish we just get started. Baby, go. No. That we'll find.
You want to find your key?
Flip it. Well, the Four Seasons, isn't it? I mean, famously, of course. When he got older, who's the lead singer from the Four Seasons?
Frankie Valli?
Yes, he had his testicles removed, didn't he, surgically, so that he could carry on in the 70s. Yeah, he did, actually, yeah.
Travel news for beds, cards and bugs.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
In Danesfield on the A4155 in both directions, that's been closed near South Close because of a accident where a car's overturned and there's been a fuel spillage too, so that's been closed by the Danesfield House Hotel. In Bounds Green on the North Circular Road, there are queues between Bowes Road at the Arnos Grove and the Bounds Green roundabouts, and in East Hyde, London Road has temporary traffic lights at Newlands Road, so that could cause some queues. Also on the A509 in Milton Keynes, it's looking quiet so far, but there is resurfacing work going on at the Northfield roundabout at the M1 junction 14 for Milton Keynes, so that is likely to get busy later on as well. Samantha Bruff, BBC Three Counties Radio.
Thank you, Sammy. 6:15. It's Friday, the 15th of May. I'm Iain Lee. These are your headlines on BBC Three Counties Radio. Iain singing is. Oh, did you put that in there? These are your proper headlines. What? Is this the right way round?
Yes.
Wycombe Wanderers are through to the League Two playoff. It really is a slow news day. Wycombe Wanderers are through to the League Two playoff final at Wembley after beating Plymouth last night. But Stevenage miss out after losing in extra time at Southend. Bedfordshire Police are calling for people to report homophobic hate crime, and a memorial garden for babies and children at Milton Keynes Hospital has been vandalised.
BBC Three Counties Radio. Nick Coffer on BBC Three Counties Radio.
Every day it's not just about great music and great conversation.
I'll get a bit technical here.
It's about local experts helping you across beds, hearts and bucks.
So what we're talking about then is capital gains tax potentially on the portion of the property that they directly own.
On finance, relationships.
But look at the way that you have contributed to this situation.
Health.
When you have a cough, which can seem quite innocuous in this way, but just irritating, asthma is something that we would think of.
Your pets.
Particularly if your dog is a border collie cross, it will be epilepsy.
And even law.
You still cannot say, Judge, you have to stick to this, but the judge's approach now is going to be, well, why shouldn't we?
Local advice for local people.
Nick Coffer, weekdays from 12 on BBC Three Counties Radio. Call 08459 455 555.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Morning, Jamie.
Morning, boss. How you doing?
Yeah, I'm all right, fella. What you got?
Car tax.
Sorry?
Car tax, mate.
What about it? And are you calling us from an old scratch record?
No, I think there's a problem with my phone, actually.
Yeah, I think there's a problem with your attitude, mate. But go on. That was no, Jamie. I take that back. That was unnecessary. Strike. This is the thing, right? Because if you're in court, you can get things stricken from the record, right? Okay. Jamie is a murderer. Oh no, hang on. Strike that from the record. But the thing, it's not in the record, mate. But it's in the mind of the audience, not the audience, the jury, isn't it? It's in the mind of the jury.
It's already there.
I've planted seeds. I'm going around court planting seeds. I'm leaving my seeds everywhere. Jamie?
Yes, mate.
Okay. By the way, can we just strike from the record what I said that Jamie is a murderer?
Not the seeds bit.
No, keep the seeds. Okay. Strike the bit about Jamie being a murderer. But it's in your. Just put seeds in your head, Kath.
Stop putting seeds in my head.
Jamie, what would you like to say, mate? Please.
I want to talk to you quickly about car tax.
Oh, you mentioned. Yeah, go on.
Obviously, you brought another car this month. I brought it on the 1st.
Did you bring it or did you buy it, mate? Because you're saying brought.
I brought it.
You brought it?
Yeah.
Did you brought it or did you bought it?
I brought it.
No. It's no, mate. It's not a buy and buy sale. It's a bring and buy sale. Did you brought it or bought it?
I bought it.
Thank you. Do you know what I mean?
Why are you running this man down?
Because he's getting on my nerves. This blooming story about car tax is going on forever. Yes, Jamie.
Basically, I bought it on the 1st of the month.
You know this isn't Jonathan Vernon Smith, don't you?
I know, but you're good at this sort of stuff.
I can get you compo, mate. Unlike that chancer. Yeah, I'll get you compo.
That's why I rung you.
Yeah, okay.
Go on.
But basically, because
is this a landline or a mobile you're on?
No, it's a landline.
Right, hit it. Get the handset and hit it.
I'm going to throw it in a minute.
No. Seriously, whack the table with it.
Hang on. Is that better?
No.
All right.
Never mind. Do that again, though. It's a good sound. Beautiful. Come in. Oh, it's Jamie on the phone. Jamie, will you get to the point? You brought a car.
Yes. So obviously, my old car, you can't send the tax to the new person.
No.
So you have to then send for a refund.
Yes.
But I then had to buy the tax again for this month,
Correct.
which I'd already paid for.
Correct. Your
So
point is...
It's a scam.
Right.
That's what I want to tell you. So we need to expose these people.
Well, hang on a minute. Right. Don't expose anybody, please. With the BBC, we've been in enough trouble for that. So hang on a minute. When did you... what date did you...
1st of May.
What?
1st of May.
OK, so you've lost the whole month of the 1st of May.
Yep, but then I've had to buy it again for my new car.
Deal with it.
No.
Suck it... Yeah, no,
No,
yes.
I'm not going to suck it up.
Suck it up.
No.
Deal with it and suck it up.
I can't.
Dealey, what advice have you got for this chancer?
I think I'll probably go along with you. Just kind of go with the flow, just relax, chill out.
Oh, man, he needs to take it to the streets.
What? To take
Come on.
Take this to the streets? What, that you've... What, how much is it a month? What does it work out a month?
The car's £180 a year.
So what's that? 18 quid?
Yeah.
Deal with it, Jamie!
Oh, God. Can't believe it.
You're banned for the rest of the week. He's banned for the rest of the week. You all right, Just?
Take it to the streets.
Take it to the streets. Hang on a second, I've got a little gift for you. You ready? Here we go. It's for you, Just. Here we go. Here I stand. Oh, hang on a minute. Hang on a minute. What key is this? This is all in the...
Not yours, that's what key
It's
it's
all in the wrong key. Percy Faith hasn't got a clue. Here. What is it? Here I stand, head in hand, turn my face to the wall. I got it. If she's gone, I can't go on, feeling 2 foot tall. It's coming up in a minute.
Go on.
Okay, where speak to me, love will find a way. Gather round, all you clowns, let me hear you say. You've got to hide your love away. Come on, everybody, join in with the hey. Hey, you've got to hide your love away. Justin, solo verse, here you go.
I don't know the words, I only know the chorus. It's a Friday morning, I'm on the streets, I'm wearing my tassel loafers and a trench coat. I've got a lovely beard, it's a great form.
Take it, Jazz.
Hey, you've got to hide your love away. Hey, you've got to hide your love away. Cheers, Percy.
Instrumental. Beautiful, beautiful. I've got to say, Delia, I threw that on you, mate, but fair play.
Gosh.
You have got a very, very, very weak voice.
I'd like to point out that Justin Dealey is doing that standing in the street.
Justin! How you feeling, Just?
Yeah, I'm feeling fine, but come on, don't knock me. It's okay for you in your nice little studio there.
Yes, mate.
I'm with the public here, doing this in front of people,
Yeah,
all
mate,
right? There's pressure on me.
You're a performer, mate.
Thank you.
You're a performer. It's what you do. I always think you perform best when you're performing, mate. Seriously, honestly.
Cheers.
It's good, that record, isn't it?
I love it.
That. I'm glad I nicked that. Right, 08459 455 555. We're going to send you to the streets in a bit, Justin, to ask what pictures people have got in their toilet/bathrooms.
Yes.
But before that, something slightly more serious. CCTVs are being installed in the Children's Memorial Garden at Milton Keynes Hospital in a bid to keep thieves and vandals out. A fountain was smashed to bits last week by someone trying to nick it. It's an incredible story. Just what is this garden?
It's called the Forget-Me-Not Baby and Children's Garden. It was opened at Milton Keynes Hospital in June of last year. The focal point of this lovely garden is a Perspex globe water feature. Now, that was specially created for the garden, and it cost over £1,000. The garden has also got named pebbles to remember individual children who have died. And police say, Ian, that sometime between the 5th and the 8th of May, an attempt was made to steal this water feature, which was worth over £1,000. They're not sure how many people were involved, but the water feature was smashed into pieces. Large stones were taken, of course. Those stones were children's names on them.
Nice one, guys. Great
And,
work, guys.
yeah, shrubs and plants have also been damaged.
Tough guys.
Horrible.
Well, I imagine the parents are devastated.
Yeah, horrified. Absolutely horrified by this vandalism. It makes you think as well, especially with these stones, why would you want to take stones with children's names on them? It's just staggering. Following the incident, parents were asking on Facebook if any of the pebbles with their child's name on had been taken. One parent as well was so outraged by this that she's now set up an online fundraising page to raise funds to hopefully repair the garden. Chantel Thomas says that there's been an incredible outpouring of support to fix the damage and return the garden to its former beauty. And it goes on to talk about CCTV. Obviously, the garden is a private place where families go, but they now feel like they have no option because there are morons out there who are doing this, that they've got no option but to install CCTV.
Just some things I just don't get. What have the police said?
Well, they've told us quite simply that they're investigating the incident and they want anybody who's got any information on this to contact them on 101.
Justin, thank you very much, mate. I'll speak to you just before 7.
Thank you.
Cheers, my dears.
Put your loving hand out, baby. I'm begging.
It's people. Let's talk to each other.
Travel news for beds, cards and bugs.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
On the M11 southbound, there's a lane blocked by an accident just after junction 6 for the M25, so that's starting to cause queues. In Hatfield on the Great North Road, there's roadworks at Southway, so that could cause some delays. And in Danesfield on the A4155, there was an accident earlier where a car overturned outside the Danesfield House Hotel, and it did close the road, but it's just reopened after the fuel spillage has been cleared up near South Close. Looking at the train departure boards, and there are no delays showing up at the moment. Samantha Brough, BBC Three Counties Radio.
Across beds, hearts and bugs.
This is BBC Three Counties Radio.
It's 6:30. I'm Simon Oxley. Bedfordshire Police are calling for people to report homophobic hate crime. They've raised the rainbow flag at police headquarters in Kempston to highlight what they say is an underreported crime. A memorial garden for babies and children at Milton Keynes Hospital has been vandalised. One parent has now set up an online page to raise funds to repair it. Nigel Farage has dismissed calls from within UKIP to stand down as the party's leader, insisting he still has phenomenal support. And a lollipop man's been sacked following a council investigation after he stopped a fire engine on its way to a 999 call in Luton.
Three Counties Sports.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Wycombe Wanderers are through to the League Two playoff final at Wembley after beating Plymouth at Adams Park last night. The Chairboys won 2-1 on the night with first-half goals from Paul Hayes and Alfie Mawson to win 5-3 on aggregate. Here's manager Gareth Ainsworth.
We're so much a smaller club than Plymouth Argyle. You know, they brought fans in numbers. One of the best moments was all our fans shining the lights, you know, just as they'd done down at home park. So it was great. It was a real entertaining game. For the neutral, the two legs must have been fantastic. For the managers, not so good, but the end result has made me a very proud Wycombe Wanderers manager.
And here's captain and goal scorer Paul Hayes.
I think it's been absolutely tremendous. I think for the size of the club, the amount of players that we've got, you know, no youth team, no reserves, and to have obviously 22 players all season, to get to Wembley after 51 games, incredible.
But Stevenage miss out on Wembley after losing 3-1 on the night at Southend and 4-2 on aggregate. Tom Pett gave the Borough the lead. Southend missed an injury time penalty to win it, but did then score twice in the second period of extra time. Here's the Stevenage manager Graham Westley.
We didn't have the rub really. If you look at the two injuries that happened to Welps and happened to Charlie, it deprived of his legs. You go into an extra time game and it's fantastic to be able to inject some fresh legs, and I think you could see in extra time we had a couple carrying out there. Dean Parrott's hamstring had gone and Walton's hamstring had gone, and you know we were unable to make the changes and inject the game, and it got away from us a little bit in extra time, but I thought they were magnificent over 90 minutes tonight.
So it's Wycombe versus Southend in the League Two playoff final at Wembley a week tomorrow, Saturday, May the 23rd. This evening, Middlesbrough are at home to Brentford for the second leg of the Championship playoff semi-final. Middlesbrough go into the match with a 2-1 lead, and Watford have announced their first friendly ahead of the new Premier League season with a trip to AFC Wimbledon on Saturday, July the 11th. BBC Three Counties News and Sport. The next full bulletin is at 7.
So you push it and you test it with Thunderbird and Rivet, and I'll
Oh, 8459 455 555. So what pictures have you got in your toilet?
I've got a picture which I thought was a really optimistic picture, but the more I sit in the toilet and look at it, the more I think that the fish is ending its life. It's a fish jumping out of a goldfish bowl, or is it jumping for joy?
Well,
Depends on the day.
They commit suicide. Fish do commit suicide.
Yeah.
That's a fact.
It's mum's watching it go as well, which makes it extra tragic.
I also know for a fact that in your downstairs toilet you've got my flipping award in there for doing this rubbish.
I've got a massive certificate.
In the loo?
Yeah, that's
Why
what
do people keep awards in the loo?
I don't know. I've never had one before, and that I just did what I thought was tradition.
No, mine's I don't know what mine is. What, have you got any pictures in yours, Kels?
Yep.
Go on.
A nice picture of a lot of my friends at Glastonbury last year.
What band had you just seen? Had you just seen Coldplay or the Rolling Stones or Dolly Parton or Jay-Z or Beyonce?
Why do you want your mates looking at you when you got your drawers down?
They normally are anyway.
Oh, right.
I don't have any. As you know, I don't have any. I don't have mirrors in my bathroom for various reasons. The people that were in there before stole them when they moved out, and as a protest against that. Hey, you hear sometimes, don't you? And if this has happened to you, call me. You hear sometimes people move. You move into a new house and you flick the light on, and the lights aren't working. They nick all the light bulbs. Now, 10 years ago, you think, it's a bit tight, but now light bulbs are really expensive,
and they last forever.
And they last forever. They don't. But they're a bit more... They don't. The ones in my lamp keeps blowing.
Oh, really?
Yeah, honestly.
Have you checked the voltage?
Seriously, I'm lying in bed and then it gets blown.
I think you've maybe got the wrong bulb in.
Not got any bulb... No, what do you mean got the wrong bulb in? It's a bulb is a bulb is a bulb.
No,
it's a bayonet.
You've got to look at the power of it.
No, you haven't. You haven't. It's a... What are you talking about?
Of course you have.
It's a bayonet bulb. It fits. That's the right bulb. What are you talking about?
No.
Do you know what she's talking about?
Yeah, sometimes the voltage can be too high.
It's not volts anymore, it's watts.
Oh, sometimes the watts.
Or the other way round. Either way...
Sometimes the something can be too high.
No.
Well, I tell you what, you carry on with your system, which is obviously not working for you, and we'll carry on with ours, which is.
Yeah, good one.
08459 455 555. What have you got in your toilet?
Boring. Oh, that's changed.
What pictures have you got in your toilet? All right? Happy now?
Yeah.
All right, boss. Yes, Catherine.
Boring people live longer, it's been proven in the newspaper this morning.
Well, you'll do well then. I'm probably going to die tomorrow in that case. Oh!
You could die soon.
Live life to the max. Live fast, die young. Too late for that one. Oh, no, hang on. Yeah, go on. Quickly, get to the point, mate. Come on. Time is money.
There's this bloke who's been going to the same cinema for 70 years, and then there's these four sisters who were aged between 93 and 101, and they put their long life down to eating plain food.
This old
Not plain
fella...
food, plain food.
Look, the Manny's got a hologram of Jesus Christ in his toilet.
Well, that looks at him.
Yeah. The old fella, he's been to the same cinema every week for, 70
years.
To see a film.
There aren't that many good films.
I know, and his favourite films are Chicago and Mamma Mia.
That says a lot about...
Doesn't it just? Two films. I reckon if I play my cards right, I can go the rest of my life without seeing that new Mad Max film. I really think I can do it. I can pull this off.
Because there was nothing wrong with the old one.
No, I don't think I've ever seen the old one either.
The old one was good, but it was cheap. But it was good.
Nah.
I don't need to see another one.
Nah, I'm bored of films. Bored of films at the moment. I'm bored of life. If a man is bored of life, he's bored of London. Famous quote there from Yeats.
It's beautiful.
The pub.
Yes. No, I'm sorry. You're right to correct me. Famous quote there. If a man is bored of life, he's bored of London, says J.P. Weatherspoons. You know who J.P. Weatherspoons is? Kelly, let's start with you. Who is J.P. Weatherspoons?
John Peter Weatherspoons.
OK, who is J.P. Weatherspoons?
Don't know. Responsible for a lot of brawling.
Nobody. He's made up. He's a made-up corporate image. Guy started a chain of pubs. He thought, pubs, what we got? I know, let's make up a pub name. J.P. Weatherspoons. He's made it up.
Like Aunt Bessie.
Yeah, there's no... What?
Yeah. She's not real either, is she?
Next to me telling me that Uncle Ben is just a marketing ploy.
No Uncle Ben, no Sarah Lee.
But these are my family.
There is a Sarah Lee.
No.
You'll be telling me there's no Ann Summers next. Oh, no, don't, because I've been in her.
Have you?
Yeah.
Have you been right to the back? Because the front bit is like...
I've been to the front. Yeah, the front bit's like, it's like pyjamas and stuff. The back of Ann Summers is filthy. Oh! I got scared in there, so I left a deposit and ran out. I did. I said, here, I'll take this. I'll pay back the rest later. And I ran out. Oh, it was terrifying in there. Terrifying in there. Some bloke. Oh, I recognise you. The bloke off the telly. Yes, I'm Vernon Kay. With a vibrator. Now. Boring man, boring films, boring life.
Food.
I'll be honest, guys. The best. There's nothing in the papers, right? I come in and I write notes. The best note I've got from what's in the papers. Bearing in mind, I've got to do another show with this material. Mm-hmm. Giant crab. That's the giant crab on page 30. And it's honestly, man, it is a big crab.
Imagine that getting hold of you.
It is a big crab. It's the size of my youngest. Okay, it's the size of a 3-year-old. Right. Popeye the edible crab weighs 9 pounds, and then there's a giant eel that's the size of a double-decker bus.
I mean, that is a monster.
Imagine that. I mean, but that's it. That's all that's in the papers. Pictures. Scott's tweeting me a picture of what's in the balcony loo, and it's toilet rolls with faces drawn on. Of course, Carpet Martin yesterday was tweeting the pictures of Justin Dealey in his toilet.
Yeah.
Very, very weird. Very sad. My sister in her toilet has got a picture of her with Peter Andre, a signed photo of Sawyer from Lost, and a signed Stephen Fry. There's a signed Stephen Fry in her toilet, and that's it.
She's a lucky woman.
She's a very, very lucky woman to have me as a brother.
And then meet all those celebs.
But mainly to have me as a brother.
Well.
08459 455 555 is the telephone number.
What's your most important part?
My what?
Yeah. What would you have insured? What could you not function without?
Oh, my voice is my fortune.
Well, exactly.
My voice is my fortune, guys. I would have my throat insured.
Well, this guy's had his nose done. Guess what his job is?
He's a cheese sniffer.
Yeah, cheese sniffer.
Yeah, he's a cheese sniffer.
Cheese expert, one of Britain's biggest manufacturers, has had his nose insured for £5 million.
I don't believe these stories. It's like J-Lo has had her bottom insured, and this man's had his nose insured, and somebody's,
Didn't
probably had his...
thingy, what's her name?
Matt Holden had her nipples insured. It just makes you want to puke. You can't go phone up the Admiral and go, hello, Admiral, could you insure my Winky? Oh, yes. It doesn't work like that.
That's not the Admiral.
Which one's the Admiral? The Admiral's, yeah.
The one with the parrot.
Churchill.
Oh, yes, it's Churchill, yeah.
I know the Admiral doesn't have the parrot anymore. No. Morning, Vera.
Oh, good morning.
How are you this morning, Vera?
Not too bad, thank you.
Can I ask you a question?
Well, yeah, all right then.
You sound like an intelligent, well-to-do woman.
You've got it.
Of a certain age.
Oh, what made you say of a certain age?
I think you're about...
I sound croaky, don't I?
I think you sound about 48.
No.
Oh, I was being polite. 73.
You know I'm older than that, don't you?
Why do you listen to this rubbish? That you should be listening to Radio 4 or something.
I don't know. I must be very odd because I seem to go for rubbish.
Oh.
No. Do you know what? She's honest, and I can't argue with that.
There's good rubbish and there's bad rubbish. You never know what's coming up next.
Oh, Vera, thank you. You can come again. What have you got for us, Vera? What pictures have you got in your loo?
They're my own paintings. I'm a bit of an artist and have been for about 100 years.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. One's a black nude.
A black nude?
A black nude,
oh,
yeah.
Blimey.
With her foot up in the sink, in the old stone sink.
So it's a black nude with her foot up in the old sink.
Yeah.
So that's very exotic.
What's she doing, having a wash?
Do you know, I've got no idea why I did that. I thought, well, who would do that?
Did you have a model posing for this? A black model?
Yes, I had a mirror in front of me, yeah.
What, posing? And you guess what?
That's it, you've got it.
And hang on, and you're not black, are you?
No.
So why did you make yourself black in this picture?
I've got the white one as well. I've got a black one side of the window and a white nude the other.
Ebony and ivory.
Okay, well that is beautiful. And can you see everything?
No, because it's very discreet.
The tap's in the way, is it? Your brush is in the way. Your hairbrush is in the...
Yeah.
Oh, dearie me, you've been naughty little pup, Vera.
But they look okay.
Not bad for an old girl.
Oh, that's not very nice. You have to be rude.
No, I was talking about Catherine.
How rude.
Oh, come on.
So have you got any other pictures that you painted?
I've got them all over the house. Yeah. I paint on everything. Plates, records.
What records have you painted on?
I can't see the names of them, but I've painted on lots of records. Yeah.
Well, Vera, I maybe one day I'll be lucky enough to come and spend a penny in your house.
But yes, you can come. I'll tell you what you could see, but I can't see anymore. I've painted on postage stamps.
You've done what?
Painted on postage stamps.
But they are tiny.
Oh no!
How did you do that?
I can't hardly see the stamps now. Let alone the paintings.
Oh well, Vera, if you get the chance, try and send us a photo or something of some of your pics, particularly the black nude.
Would you like that?
I would love to see your black nude. I would.
Wait a minute. Why the black nude and not the white one?
Yeah, do you know what? Ebony and ivory, I believe in harmony. Send them both.
I will, then.
Ta-ta, Vera. Thanks for being a good sport. Bye-bye. Where I used to live in black nude and a white nude.
You can pop into a toilet and have a look at her bottom.
There was, when I used to live in Muswell Hill in North London, there was a gentleman who would go around, I can never remember his name, Bob or Dave or Dan or something, and he was always there, and he would be lying on the floor in the high street, painting bubblegum, painting the chewing gum that people spell. Now I know, but his paintings were amazing.
What's he drawing on them?
Anything he would do stuff, or you could go and do requests, and he would dedicate them to people, and he'd write the name on it. I tell you what, let's have a bit of trav, and I'll find it on Google.
Travel news for beds, cards and bugs.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
On the M11, there's a lane blocked by an accident southbound at junction 6 for the M25 because of an accident involving a car and a lorry. And on the M25 anti-clockwise, it's really busy now around junction 19 for the A41 at Watford. And the A1 southbound also is looking slow from the Holiday Inn southbound towards Barnet Lane at the Stirling corner. On the train departure boards, the 7:44 train from Bedford to London is cancelled. Samantha Bruff, BBC Three Counties Radio.
Thank you, Sammy. It's bonkers. Well, his name is Ben. Look, honestly, Google Muswell Hill chewing gum art. That's a tiny bit of chewing gum. And he would dedicate them. I mean, he's brilliant. He's bonkers, but he's a really nice bloke. And, I'd often stop and talk to him, and the kids would stop and watch him. And you could ask him to do pictures for you and put your kids' names on, and he would do it. Look, there's one for Pat, you see? It's brilliant, isn't it? I mean, it's nuts.
It's extraordinary.
But it's people like that, Catherine, that make the world a better place. 6:47 or thereabouts. It's Friday the 15th of May. I'm Iain Lee. These are your headlines on BBC Three Counties Radio. Wycombe Wanderers are through to the League Two playoff final at Wembley after beating Plymouth last night, but Stevenage miss out after losing in extra time at Southend. Bedfordshire Police are calling for people to report homophobic hate crime, and a memorial garden for babies and children at Milton Keynes Hospital has been vandalised.
Beds, Herts and Bucks weather.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Hello, very good morning to you. Today's going to be a dry day. We saw around an inch of rainfall yesterday, but not so today. A much better day of weather. Staying dry, quite a lot of cloud through the morning, but we'll gradually see that cloud thin and break to give us some good spells of sunshine. Pleasant in the sunshine with just a light westerly breeze, and top temperatures today of up to around 16 or even 17 Celsius. That's 63, in Fahrenheit. Now, the sunny spells will last as we head into the evening, and then overnight tonight, a mild night to come, staying mostly dry, possibly a few outbreaks of drizzle into tomorrow morning, but lows of around 10 or 11 degrees. That's a cold front coming through into tomorrow morning, so a little bit of drizzle to start the day, quite a lot of cloud, but otherwise a dry weekend, lots of sunshine developing later on Saturday, highs of around 16 or 17 degrees. Again, just a little bit cooler, a little bit breezier over the course of the weekend, and Sunday will tend to be the cloudier day, although again it is looking dry. In fact, completely dry for most places until we get to Monday morning, when we'll see some heavy rain to start the new working week. That's the forecast.
Silver in my tambourine, help a poor man build a pretty dream. Give me pennies, I'll take anything. Now listen while I play my green tambourine. Watch the jingle jangle start to shine, reflections of the music that is mine. When you toss a coin, you
dog.
Drop a dime before I walk away. Any song you want, I'll gladly play. Money feeds my music machine. Now listen while I play my green tambourine.
Morning, guys. Iain Lee, BBC Three Counties Radio. There's nothing in the papers at all. But Justin,
morning, boss.
We've got a great one for you in the next hour, by the way.
Okay.
But this hour we've been asking. This is just down the rabbit hole question. What have you got in your toilet? What pictures? It's a weird thing that so you go into some people's toilets. And they're covered with, there could be pictures of shows they've been in if they're a little bit of a lovey, pictures of weird stuff.
Yeah,
like
absolutely.
postcards. What have you got in yours?
In mine, absolutely, and this is ridiculous, and I feel ashamed as a human being. I've got absolutely no pictures at all in my toilet.
Buddy. We don't judge people here, mate. we don't judge people down the rabbit hole. There is no I've got none. I've even got a mirror in mine.
Oof, no, but that is shocking.
Yeah, I've got a mirror, haven't you, Justin?
His whole bathroom is a mirror. The floor, the ceiling, the walls.
Have you ever been in a bathroom where they've got floor to ceiling? I went in one once, and you could see yourself on the toilet, like from floor to ceiling.
Yeah,
Why do I need to look at that?
Yeah, when I stay with my wife's aunt in Greece, she has a toilet. You sit down, you close the door, you shut you sit down. And the mirror is directly opposite you. I see my straining face. Now, Justin, I suspect it's similar to my sex face. And it's something I never wanted to see, mate.
Well, you know, to a certain degree, you should be proud of that face. It's a part of you.
You've taken this to the streets, mate.
Yeah, I have. A lot of people haven't got pictures, and those that do, to be quite honest with you, they were boring stories.
Yeah.
It was, I've got some artwork. Do you know what it is? Well, no. I've got a picture of a beach. Where's the beach? Well, I don't know. I bought it from the shop. So I've gone for this guy.
Justin, I've got to stop you, mate. And I've got breaking news.
Okay.
B.B. King has died.
What?
B.B. King has died.
You're joking?
No. I'm sorry to do this. Literally, it's just popped up on the screen on AP, on Twitter. Breaking: King of the Blues, legend B.B. King is dead in Las Vegas at the age of 89. I'm sorry.
We kind of expected that to a certain degree, didn't we?
We expected this.
Yeah.
We kind of expect. I'm sorry to interrupt with that, but there you go.
It was only yesterday. My mum was saying to me, "No tributes this weekend." I said, "No, thankfully, nobody's died until today." Wow. Okay.
Sorry, mate. I knew.
No,
you'd
that's
want to know,
okay.
So go on. So let's go back to pictures in toilets.
Yeah. Most people on the streets had dull, boring stories, apart from this man. Take a listen. Mate, this has got to be one of the best beards I've ever seen. Sir, what pictures have you got in your toilet?
Picture of me.
What's the picture of? What were you doing?
It's actually me going to the toilet. Yeah, I've got a picture of me on the toilet, in the toilet.
What sort of memories have you got behind that picture of you sitting on the toilet, going to the toilet?
It's just great times, isn't it? Great times on the toilet.
So that picture inspires you when you go into the bathroom, it gives you inspiration?
Yeah.
That's unusual. I'll give you that. Thank you, sir.
No problem.
Oh, mate.
There you go.
Do you know what? I'm glad we had that after that sad news, because that... Oh, you're right. Was that... Tell me that was a bike.
It was, yes.
I'm glad we had that after that sad news, because that made us... That 25 seconds or whatever it was made us laugh a lot. He's got a picture of himself going to the toilet in his loo, and the memories, great times.
Can't top that, can you?
Oh, man alive. Justin, listen, we've got a good one for the next hour.
Yeah, go on.
Why were we talking about this?
Because the guy who's had his nose insured for £5 million, he probably hasn't, but he's a cheese sniffer by trade.
Cheese sniffer.
What would you have insured?
Well, I would get my voice insured. That's my fortune. Scott has tweeted us. Dealey should get his genius insured.
Oh, Scott, that means the world.
You've been good. You've been on top form this morning already. Could you take it to the streets, Just?
Of course I can.
Get insured?
No problem at all.
Thank you very much, mate. Ta-ta.
Cheers.
Let's have a little bit of this, shall we?
Shrimp. What you call me? Shrimp. You
and hats.
But I'll tell you one doggone thing. It makes me feel good to know one thing. I know I'm a
Have an opinion, baby.
That's all right, Mama was.
You know what, Otis?
What?
You're country.
It's all right.
You straight from the Georgia woods.
That's good.
You know what? You wear overalls, big old broke iron shoes, and you need a haircut, tramp.
Woman, you do. Grandmama? Papa too. Make you oh, that's all right. But I'm the son of a gun. On this side of
That's what you got. You're a rat and a tramp. You know what, Otis? I don't care what you say. You're still a tramp. That's right. You haven't even got a fat bankroll in your pocket. You probably haven't even got 25 cents.
I got 6 Cadillac, 5 Lincoln, 4 Ford, 6 Mercury, 3 T-Birds, Mustang. Ooh, I'm a lover.
Prove it by me.
My mama was. My papa too.
What? Well, tell me.
I know the sound of a gun, yeah, inside of the soul.
You're a tramp, Otis. No, I don't care what you say. You're still a tramp. Look here. You ain't even got no money.
I got everything.
You can't buy me all those meats and sables and all that stuff I want.
I can buy you meat, rat, frog, squirrel, rabbit, anything you want.
Look, you can go out in the Georgia woods and catch them, baby. You're still a tramp. Tramp, Otis. You're just a
Morning, guys. Ian Lee, BBC Three Counties Radio.
overall.
08459 455 555. Oh, I've lost the blooming text thing. Hang on a second.
What are you doing? See, it's so easily
Quick,
done.
do a
isn't
paper. Do a story from the paper.
All
Where
right,
there ain't no story.
what
It's like
about
an S Club story.
A bloke with a nail in his eye, but you can still see. How about that?
yeah,
How
go
about
for
that?
it,
Okay.
baby.
Right, 20.
Oh,
Hello?
thank you.
20.
Was it Boyle K?
Yes.
Oh.
Yes.
1.
Yes. Hang on, I'm trying to find the thing. Right, hang on, where is it?
We ain't got them.
I ain't got on text.
No.
A gardener was impaled through the eye by an. Can you be impaled? I thought that was straight through your gut. All right, fair enough.
No, it can, something can impale you.
Okay. Through the eye by a 3-inch nail, but managed to make a full recovery. How? Well, doctors removed the nail, which the man had hit with a strimmer.
Whoa!
And like just like that.
That's the noise of. So this is the noise of someone. Could you do the noise of someone strimming a nail hitting in the eye? Yeah, sure. Ring ding dong. Ah!
And that's why you're a much coveted voiceover artist.
Thank you very much indeed.
Doctors removed the nail, which the man had hit with a strimmer. And 8 weeks later, the 27-year-old's vision was back to normal, but they said that had the nail struck a millimetre away, he could have suffered major damage.
They're always saying this. Oh, a millimetre to the left, a millimetre to the right, a centimetre here. Oh, for goodness sakes, what do they know?
Travel news for beds, cards and bugs.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
On the M11, there are queues southbound approaching junction 6 for the M25 because of an accident involving a car and a lorry. And on the M25, it's looking busy at junction 19 for the A41 at Watford. In Bricketwood on the North Orbital Road, that's slow at the M25 junction 21A roundabout. And in Little Haddam on the A120, that's looking busy westbound at Albury Road. On the train departure boards, there are no major delays coming up at the moment. Samantha Bruff, BBC Three Counties Radio.
Thank you, Sammy. We're climbing out the rabbit hole. I don't need to know what. Yeah, what? I don't need. Kenny was actually miming climbing out of a rabbit hole, and do you know what? It worked, man. It worked. Don't need to know what's in your bathroom anymore, but 08459 455 555. What part of you would you get insured? And the last hour never happened, all right?
Local and vocal across Beds, Herts and Bucks.
This is BBC Three Counties Radio.
It's 7 o'clock. I'm Simon Oxley. The headlines: Wickham heading for Wembley, but Stevenage miss out. Bedfordshire Police urge people to report homophobic hate crime, and Memorial Garden vandalised at Milton Keynes Hospital.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Wickham Wanderers are through to the League Two playoff final at Wembley after beating Plymouth at Adams Park last night. Gareth Ainsworth's side won 2-1 on the night and 5-3 on aggregate.
Mentally preparing the boys was important because Plymouth had the momentum. They'd scored 2 in the last 5 minutes at home park, so the first goal was crucial today, and it's just been a fantastic day, and thank you so much to everyone who's been a part of this season.
And Wickham will face Southend at Wembley next Saturday after they beat Stevenage 3-1 after extra time. Graham Westley's side lost 4-2 on aggregate.
I can't believe that we went as far as we did, but they kept surprising me, and it wouldn't have surprised me to see them go all the way. But as I say, fell slightly short tonight. We'll have a look at it, and I'm sure that as players they'll come back stronger next year.
Bedfordshire Police are calling for people to report homophobic hate crime. They say people need to have the courage to report this type of crime so they can tackle it more effectively. They've raised the rainbow flag at police headquarters in Kempston. More from Carol Abercrombie.
Bedfordshire Police say that despite progress towards legal equality, many people still live in fear of homophobic or transphobic hate crime. Chief Inspector Tanya Coulson, who leads on tackling this type of crime in the county, says it's underreported and they're calling on the public's help to tackle it. The force also has a team of lesbian and gay liaison officers to support the communities locally.
Nigel Farage has dismissed calls from within UKIP to stand down as the party's leader, insisting he still has phenomenal support. He was speaking on the BBC's Question Time programme last night. David Cameron will have his first meeting since the election with Scotland's First Minister, Nicola Sturgeon. Mr Cameron will explain his plans for devolving more powers to the Scottish Parliament. A memorial garden for babies and children at Milton Keynes Hospital has been vandalised. One parent has now set up an online page to raise funds to repair it. More from Matt Lockwood.
The Memorial Garden was opened last year to help parents deal with the trauma of losing a baby or a child. At its centre is a water feature which has been smashed, and a number of large stones have also been taken. Parents have been left horrified by the vandalism, taken to social media to vent their anger. One parent has now set up an online fundraising page to help pay towards the cost of repairs. Police want anyone who has information to contact them.
And a lollipop man's been sacked following a council investigation after he stopped a fire engine on its way to a 999 call in Luton. Firefighters had to physically remove the crossing attendant from the street outside William Austin Junior School last month. Luton Borough Council had initially suspended him. The weather brightening up after a cloudy start with some sunny spells, a maximum temperature 16 degrees Celsius. And you can get the latest news and sport online at bbc.co.uk/3 counties.
Thank you, Simon. Morning, guys. Iain Lee, BBC Three Counties Radio. Slow news day. Really, I mean, the best story in the papers is about a giant crab. A giant crab! I suspect that unless they manage to delve a bit deeper, that will be the phone in at 9 o'clock for Jonathan Vernon Smith. What's the biggest crustacean you've ever seen? Oh, actually, no, we're having that. We're back to that. What's the biggest crustacean you've ever seen? It's not a bad one, actually. I like that. Also, what would you get insured? Oh, and to be honest, you know how this show works. You can phone in about pretty much anything. We'll take any old so-and-so. I know. Very low standards. Very low standards between 6 and 9. If you want to give us a text, you can. 81333. Start your text 3CR, but phone calls are better in it. 08459 455 555.
Across Beds, Herts and Bucks.
This is BBC Three Counties Radio.
Now, Bedfordshire Police is encouraging victims of homophobia to help them stamp it out by speaking up. The force is concerned that this type of hate crime is going unreported. Well, today the rainbow flag is being raised at police headquarters in Kempston as part of a celebration of equality. Well, Greg Ratty is a gay rights campaigner from Hertfordshire and a former advisor to Hertfordshire Police on homophobic abuse. Good morning, Greg.
Good morning, Ian.
How much of a problem is this, do you think?
I think it is quite a problem. I think things are improving, obviously, for gay people in the country generally over the last few years. But I think this is still an issue that needs to be addressed.
The reason that Bedfordshire Police are bringing this to everyone's attention is they suspect that it's underreported, that people don't report it. Do you buy into that?
I do, in the sense that I still get homophobic abuse called to me in the street. I think I spoke to you yesterday. I discussed an issue I had just lately. I'm loath, actually, nowadays to report things like that to the police because I think their priority lies elsewhere now. I don't think it's an issue with the actual police themselves. I think it's how things are prioritised.
The Bedfordshire Police are going to have... Now, we've got to get this title right. LAGLOs, Lesbian and Gay Liaison Officers.
Mm-hmm.
Is that going to work, or is it just a little bit of PR, do you think?
I personally think it's a little bit of PR, really, because I just don't think that, as I said to you, that things aren't prioritised as much as they were. There are other issues that they tend to put on priority. I wouldn't encourage, for example, I got shouted at in the street, puff, the other day. I didn't go to the police. There's no point. It's not something I would bother even to do.
What were you doing to encourage someone to shout puff at you?
Well, the thing is, I've done a lot of work for the LGBT communities over the years.
Yeah.
I worked with Tony Blair's government on the NHS recode system, which defined homosexuality as a disease, and we got that changed. And it gave me a bit of a priority. I ended up in court 5 times. I had a harasser over it, which was pretty nasty. So I got pretty well known, and I think it's just through that alone. It's not through anything else.
Gosh, very... See, I spent a long time living in London and working in the media, where, gay, yeah, so what? I don't get the point. So for someone to shout puff just sounds very 1970. How does that make you feel when something like that happens?
Well, and nowadays, years ago, it would have been different. Nowadays, it really, genuinely, it's like Walter off a duck's back. I just look at these people and think, my goodness, really, is that how life is for you?
But I imagine, you've been around the block a few times. I would imagine that for some people, though, that can be very upsetting.
It's intimidating and upsetting, and I'm sure that a lot of people... I do hear from people who have similar things, and, they just talk about it, really, but I don't know that I'd do much about it.
Here's the thing I don't get about this. Well, there are a couple of things I don't get about this thing by Bedfordshire Police. The lesbian and gay liaison officers, to me, it sounds a little bit patronising, and it's kind of... well, why aren't all police officers, equipped to deal with reports of this crime? And also, the flying of the rainbow flag. I don't know, it feels a little bit patronising to me.
Thing is, Ian, I really couldn't agree with you more. I think you're exactly right in what you're saying there, and I just don't understand it. It's just as if it's some sort of PR stunt just to appeal, just very quickly, and then tomorrow they'll move on. I hate to say it, because I was with them for 6 years, but I really don't see it as being any big sort of gesture. It's certainly not in my book.
Yeah, it's not going to change your world. All right, Greg, I really appreciate your input on this morning. Thank you.
No problem at all. I hope I didn't paint a gloomy picture, because there's some very, very good things as well.
Oh, no, I don't think you have. I think you painted an honest picture. This story has kind of had me scratching my head. We know that a lot of crime goes unreported, and just when I heard the thing about the flag and this horrible LAGLOs, these terms, I just thought, well, it just feels a little bit. Exclusive, it's exactly. Like we're gonna okay, gay people, this weekend it's your weekend, and we're gonna, it just feels a bit. Well, you should be listening to people and talking to people of all sexes and sexualities and colours and everything all the time. Why are you singling out gays this weekend?
Exactly, and all the officers should be. All of the officers should be.
Well, we're going to speak to the police later on, Greg, so thank you. No, not a gloomy picture at all. Thank you, Greg Ratty, gay rights campaigner from Hertfordshire. I don't understand. Can someone explain to me? We'll speak to a copper later on. Can someone explain to me the flying of the rainbow flag? I don't get it. I don't get it, because it'll annoy some people, and, you know, whatever. But I don't know what they're trying to say. Are they then at some point going to fly, I don't know, a Pakistani flag? And then an Ethiopian flag, you know, and say, well, for this weekend, it's Ethiopian weekend, and we're going to... I don't know. 08459 455 555. It sounds like it's coming from a good place, you know, but it just feels a little bit, well, patronising. I'm glad Greg agreed, because it's easy for me as a heterosexual bloke to go, it feels patronising, but, you know, it don't affect me. Oh, well, maybe I've got this wrong. 08459 455 555.
On FM, AM, online and digital radio.
This is Iain Lee.
On BBC Three Counties Radio.
Now, we've had a call from Lydia Tyrrell this morning. Good morning, Lydia.
Hiya. Good morning.
Good morning. I really appreciate your call. It's about your dad, isn't it?
Yeah, that's right.
Tell us about your dad. Who is he and what's happened?
His name's Brian Byrne, and he's been missing since last Thursday. It's completely out of character for him, and the police are treating the investigation as a high risk.
Okay, so let's find out a little bit. It's Brian Byrne, and I'm assuming that's B-Y-R-N-E, is it?
Yeah, that's right.
Let's get a little bit of information about Dad. How old is he, first of all?
My dad's 58.
58? And what does he look like?
He's 6'5", around that height.
He's a tall fella then, so you're not going to. People are going to, if they see him, they're not going to miss him, are they?
Yeah, hopefully not. But he's quite stocky build.
Yeah.
Tan skin. He has kind of dark greyish receding hair.
Yeah.
Blue eyes, just very distinctive looking. You couldn't miss him.
Yeah. And when did you say he went missing, Lydia?
He went missing on Thursday night, but yesterday the police found his van in a residential area around Crownfields in Nazing.
Okay, and whereabouts is he from?
He's from Hertford.
Okay. What kind of van was it? What does he do?
He's a grounds worker, and the van was a white van which had night group written on it.
Okay. A grounds worker. So what like looking after lawns and plants and things like that?
Like building work.
Building. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And was he well? I'm asking that. I mean, did he have anything like dementia or anything like that?
He wasn't really in a good place because my mum and dad separated a few months back, and
I'm sorry to hear that.
My mum is absolutely distraught, as we are all. So
I bet she is. So
yeah.
he wasn't in a particularly healthy place. The separation had affected him quite hard, had it?
Yeah, it did.
If I ask anything you don't want to answer, Lydia, you tell me to jog on, okay? I won't be offended, because I know this is really tough. I'm just doing this so that we get as much information about Brian as we can, okay?
Yeah.
But if I say something that you know, you can tell me to shut up.
Okay.
Had he said anything about? Obviously, he'd spoken to you about struggling because of the breakup. Yeah. Had he said anything about it being too much? About him wanting to get away from it all?
He kind of. It was mainly me that he really spoke to about how he was feeling and stuff, because I've got a younger brother, so he's 17. But I could just tell he was struggling, and he mentioned it a few times, but he never mentioned about getting away for a while, because I didn't think he. If that is the case, I didn't think he'd do that to us and not get in contact.
Yeah.
And like, if he was just to call us and just be like, look, I just wanted to get away for a few days, then that'd be fine, as long as we know he's safe.
That's all you want to know, is he can stay away as long as he wants, as long as you know that he's all right. And are you all right to carry on?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. It's just that, you know, when relationships break up, we can go nuts, can't we? And we kind of forget that there are other people out there that care for us.
Exactly.
So you last spoke to him on Thursday, did you?
Yeah, I did.
Okay, and did you? Was it on the phone? Was it face to face?
I came home and he gave me a lift up to the Greyhound pub in Benjo, and then he went home and picked up my mum in town and came back to ours, and they chilled out and they had some food together, and then the next morning he was just gone, which. He left at around the time he usually went for work.
Right.
But apparently we went to his work and he didn't turn up.
Okay. And you've not you've called his phone, and was the phone ringing off, or does it go straight to voicemail, or
Straight to voicemail.
Okay, and there's been no text or anything.
No, nothing.
What have the police said, Lydia?
The police are getting increasingly worried.
Yeah.
I mean, there's been helicopters out, but finding the van yesterday was quite a revelation, I guess, because that we were kind of holding on to that. That would have been key for us to try and locate his whereabouts, because he's a massive walker. He just loves fields and stuff. So they've got so many volunteers out. Yesterday I went up to the Lee Valley boating area, and that's where they were parked up, and there was loads of them there. And there was volunteers, about 30 police out looking for him.
So he's one of those that if he's got problems, he'll just go walking for miles.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know that.
Not for a week.
No, that seems a long time.
Yeah.
Lydia, have you got any pictures that you could email us and we can put on the Facebook page?
Yeah, I do. I do have loads of pictures, and yeah, I could do that.
What I'm going to do, Lydia, and I'm going to let you go because I think we've got enough. Just remind us where that van was found again.
It was found in Crownfield in Nazing, so it's just like anyone from the surrounding area, Broxbourne, just anywhere around there.
And what did the van look like? Just give us a description of that in case someone saw it, being driven around or something.
It was just a white Vauxhall, I think. I can't remember the name of the car, but the main thing it had on it was Night Group. Night Group. Yeah, in big blue letters.
Let's hope he's all right. Let's keep our fingers crossed, Lydia, and hope he's off. He's having a little sulk or a little cry or whatever, and he's just kind of lost track of time. I really wish you the best of luck, Lydia. We're going to keep our fingers crossed. Stay on the line. I'm going to pass you back to Catherine, and she'll let you know how you can send us a picture.
Okay.
And we'll put it up on the Facebook page as soon as you get it to us. We'll whack it up on the Facebook page and point people to it.
Thank you very much.
Will you keep in touch?
I will do.
Thank you, Lydia. Cheers. Stay on the line. We'll let you know as soon as it's on the Facebook page. Deary me. 08459 455 555. It goes without saying, but I'm going to say it. You got any information? A, you could call us. B, I suggest you call the police, 101. BBC Three Counties Radio. Let's get the travel.
Travel news for beds, cards and bugs.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
On the M25, it's busy anti-clockwise around junction 16 for the M40, and also anti-clockwise on the M25 junction 19 for Watford's looking busy. In Watford itself, on Lower High Street, that's starting to build up now on Eastbury Road at the Bushy Arches, and Little Haddam on the A120, that's slow westbound around Oldbury Road, and in Aspenden on the A10, that's busy northbound around the Buntingford South and BP roundabout. On the train departure boards, the 7:44 train from Bedford to Surrey is cancelled. Samantha Bruff, BBC Three Counties Radio.
Sammy, thank you very much indeed. Let's all keep our fingers crossed, shall we? What a brave woman. Thank you very much for that call, Lydia. As soon as we get a picture, we'll whack it up on the Facebook page, and we'll send you to it. You never know. You might have seen him walking about. It's got up to 7:18. It's Friday the 15th of May. I'm Iain Lee. These are your headlines on BBC Three Counties Radio. Wycombe Wanderers are through to the League Two playoff final at Wembley after beating Plymouth last night, but Stevenage miss out after losing in extra time at Southend. Bedfordshire Police are calling for people to report homophobic hate crime, and a memorial garden for babies and children at Milton Keynes Hospital has been vandalised.
BBC Three Counties Radio. Saturdays on BBC Three Counties Radio.
It's going to be fresh, bright, lively and relaxed, hopefully summery.
Mike Naylor.
It's the 13th annual Stotfold Steam Fair.
We've got about 20 steam engines and have a walk around. The steam guys are so enthusiastic.
Saturdays from 2.
We have 3 octaves of handbells. Absolutely packed here.
Mike Naylor.
Unique, original and different.
Saturdays from 2 on BBC Three Counties Radio. Call 08459 455 555.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Oh, here we go. Man, there are some unpleasant people in the world. CCTV is having to be installed at a baby and children's memorial garden. Yeah, I'll say that again, shall I? I'm laughing because it's so incredible. CCTV is having to be installed at a baby and children's memorial garden in Buckinghamshire after it was vandalised. So this is like a little garden, little quiet area where you can go because you've lost a baby or you've lost a child, which is, one of the worst things that could happen. No parent should ever have to bury their child. And some idiots have gone and vandalised it. The incident took place at Milton Keynes Hospital last week, and staff say they've got no choice but to increase security while repairs are being carried out. Well, I'm joined now by Tracy Ray, who's a bereavement midwife who helped parents set up the garden. Morning, Tracy.
Good morning.
This is an incredible story, isn't it?
Very sad story.
Oh, it's awful. Tell us a bit about this garden. When did it start and kind of who came up with the idea for it?
OK, so initially I was at a fundraising event, a pampering day organised by a bereaved mum. Whilst there, I saw a bereaved mum that I knew, and I just happened to say that I'd really like to have a garden in the hospital premises for bereaved parents, and she informed me that she was actually a garden designer, which I never realised, and that she'd like to be involved in designing a garden if we could, find a space, a courtyard actually at the hospital.
And so, what if I'd gone there a week ago, Tracy? What would I have seen? What would it have looked like?
It's a beautiful garden. It's a circular garden with a hedge all the way around it, with concrete benches. An area with the garden area, which has got the shapes of teardrops and flowers in there, with posts which say dream, solace. It's just absolutely beautiful. And of course, we've got the water feature. The bereaved dad actually did a skydive to raise funds for the water feature. And that was obviously the highlight of the garden. That's what people went and saw.
It sounds like, it's a very... Because hospitals can be noisy and they can be hectic, and it sounds like a very peaceful, tranquil place to go and think and remember.
All the parents who go there have all said they can't believe it's actually in a hospital setting. It's very, very private. As I said, it's got a hedge all the way around it. The gate entrance is actually away from the actual walk area, so you have to actually walk around to get into the entrance. So obviously whoever did this, I don't know how they knew even to go through that gate. But so yes, it's very, very private. We didn't have CCTV because, we agreed as a team, the gardening team and myself, that we didn't want CCTV. We wanted it to be private and personal for bereaved parents. However, obviously, we need to change our mind, I think, now.
Not that this makes much difference, but is there a sign that kind of says what it is?
What we've got is there's a slab. As you walk through the actual garden, there's a slab by the gate, and that very clearly states what it's for.
So anyone who went in there, for whatever reason, would know where they were?
Absolutely, absolutely. As I said, as you walk through the gate, there's a plaque literally at the entrance, and it says, "For our little ones, a garden of simple beauty and quietness in loving memory." So there's no shadow of a doubt, you know that it's a bereaved garden for parents who've lost babies and children.
And tell me about am I right, there were stones with names on?
There's pebbles.
Pebbles.
And, initially we didn't think any had been taken. However, I've had quite a few text messages where parents have gone down to the garden looking for their pebbles. And unfortunately, some are missing.
And so this, and on there, it was written or engraved the name of the kids that had passed on.
Yeah, engraved. So we've got a lady named Ruth who does the pebbles for us, and she puts the baby's first name on the front and their date of birth on the back.
Fantastic, isn't that beautiful?
It is beautiful, and parents then go to the garden. They're told when the pebble's ready. They go to the garden, they find their pebble, and then they choose where they want the pebble to go in the garden.
And they nicked some of those.
Well, I'd like to think they hadn't, but as I said, I have had text messages saying that they're missing, so I really don't know. I'm disgusted if they have.
Let's hope, because I don't know what pleasure or why they do it. Let's hope that maybe they've just been displaced and that they get moved. What they've just been moved? What else has happened in there, Tracy? What else did these idiots do?
Well, as I said, they've smashed the water feature in two. And, the security, I called the security down on Friday when I found out, because actually it was a bereaved mum who informed me that the garden had been damaged.
Oh, imagine turning up and finding that, blimey.
Devastated, absolutely devastated. The garden means so much to so many people.
You are going to install CCTV now, is that right?
We are.
Isn't that sad? Oh, no, that's okay. You're all right to carry on?
Sorry.
No, don't apologise. This is, You know, I'm a parent, and I'm blessed that both my boys are alive and well. But I know people who have lost children, and I know how important.
It's really important, even to the staff.
It's a simple little thing, but it means so much, doesn't it?
It really does. And as I said, even staff go there, if they've looked after a bereaved family, they'll go along and sit in there just to have some quiet space and, reflect on what's happened. And, staff from obviously the rest of the trust, we have obviously nurses from the paediatric wards, neonatal unit, all across the hospital. Everyone obviously loves the garden.
Listen, I don't want to drag this out too much. You've obviously put a lot of time and effort and yourself into this. There is a fundraising page, isn't there? If people want to contribute a couple of quid or something towards getting the garden back to the state it should be in, how can they do that?
Okay, Christelle, who's one of the bereaved parents who was part of the gardening team, there was actually 8 bereaved parents who were part of the gardening team, and myself, and they made all the decisions about the garden, and it was literally a garden made by bereaved parents for bereaved parents. So again, that's why it's so special. But Christelle has just set up a Just Giving page, and what we're asking for is any donations towards CCTV, which is what we really didn't want.
No.
But we appreciate that we do need it now. And we obviously need to get a new spear for the water feature.
Yeah. Sensible, sad, but sensible, isn't it?
Unfortunately, yeah.
If people want to give, it's justgiving.com/Christelle-Thomas1. Is that right?
That's right, yeah. And capital C and capital T.
And it's CHRISTELLE-Thomas1, the number 1.
That's right, yeah, figure 1.
Hang on a second. Catherine's just putting something through. Hang on a second. Catherine, what have we got? You've just given me the...
Patrick on fader 2.
Patrick's on fader 2. Hang on a second. Morning, Patrick.
Morning.
Morning. What have you got for us, Patrick?
I'm just listening to this lady on the radio now. I've just caught the tail end of it, just got in the car. I'm still sort of in the security industry, so if they need any assistance or help or equipment, then I'm someone who can get hold of it, and basically see if I can get some of the guys to do it as a favour.
Well, what it is, Patrick, is that, I don't know how much you heard, but it's a memorial garden in a hospital where it's there for parents to go who've lost a kid, and some idiots have gone and smashed it up. They're looking for CCTV. Is that something you could help with?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Hey. You can just, I'll pop down and have a look, and I can see what I can do.
All right. Well, Tracy, does that sound like something you'd be interested in?
That is amazing. Thank you, Patrick.
No problems at all.
Beautiful.
Thank
Listen,
you.
we will put you... Stay on the line, both of you. Tracy, I really appreciate your time. Patrick, nice one, mate. Thank you. Stay on the line. Catherine will get you two together somehow. Oh, well, there you go. Oh, I've got shivers. Why would you... Why? Why would you... I can sort of understand people vandalising... I can't really, but, playgrounds and things like that. But something like this? Something like this? Hey, Patrick, if that's genuine, nice one, mate. Thank you very much indeed. 08459 455 555 is the telephone number if you want to give us... What an emotional half an hour. Really? I suspect we need to get Dealey on in the next 30 minutes. I think we need a little bit of Tom Dickory to lighten the mood ever so slightly. 08459 455 555 is the phone number. Don't phone us if you want to make financial contributions to that. Let me just give that page again. We're not in a position to take money or anything for that, but... justgiving.com/Christelle-Thomas1. CHRISTELLE-Thomas and the number 1, okay? 81333, start your text 3CR. Let's get the trav.
Travel news for beds, cards and bugs.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
On the M25, it's busy anti-clockwise around junction 19 for the A41 at Watford. On the A1 southbound, there are queues from the Holiday Inn to the Stirling Corner, and in Little Haddam on the A120, that's slow westbound around Albury Road. In Aspendon on the A10, that's busy northbound at the BP roundabout, and in Dunstable on the High Street North, that's looking slow just after Half Moon Lane on the speed sensors. On the train departure boards, the 7:44 train from Bedford to Surrey has been cancelled. Samantha Bruff, BBC Three Counties Radio.
Sammy, thank you very much indeed. Well. 08459 455 555. It seems flippant to go from that to this, but you know what? That's kind of what we do. So, what would you have insured? Some bloke's getting his conch insured for £5 million. I don't. You can't phone up Sheila's Wheels and say, could you insure my finger, could you? I'm the guy that presses the button for the lottery. That doesn't work, does it? 08459 455 555. Let's get the news.
Across beds, hearts and bugs.
This is BBC Three Counties Radio.
It's 7:30. I'm Simon Oxley. Bedfordshire Police are calling for people to report homophobic hate crime. They say people need to have the courage to report it and have raised the rainbow flag at police headquarters in Kempston. A memorial garden for babies and children at Milton Keynes Hospital has been vandalised. A water feature was smashed and memorial stones taken. One parent has now set up an online page to raise funds to repair it. And the Lollipop man's been sacked following a council investigation after he stopped a fire engine on its way to a 999 call in Luton.
Three Counties Sports.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Wycombe Wanderers are through to the League Two playoff final at Wembley after beating Plymouth at Adams Park last night. The Chairboys won 2-1 on the night with first-half goals from Paul Hayes and Alfie Mawson to win 5-3 on aggregate. Here's manager Gareth Ainsworth.
We're so much a smaller club than Plymouth Argyle. You know, they've brought fans in numbers. One of the best moments was all our fans shining the lights, you know, just as they'd done down at home park. So it was great. It was a real entertaining game. For the neutral, the two legs must have been fantastic. For the managers, not so good, but the end result has made me a very proud Wycombe Wanderers manager.
And here's captain and goal scorer Paul Hayes.
I think it's been absolutely tremendous. I think for the size of the club, the amount of players that we've got, you know, no youth team, no reserves, and to have obviously 22 players all season, to get to Wembley after 51 games, incredible.
But Stevenage miss out on Wembley after losing 3-1 on the night at Southend and 4-2 on aggregate. Tom Pett gave the Borough the lead. Southend missed an injury time penalty to win it, but did then score twice in the second period of extra time. Here's Stevenage manager Graham Westley.
We didn't have the rub, really. If you look at the two injuries that happened to Welps and happened to Charlie, it deprived of his legs. You go into an extra time game and it's fantastic to be able to inject some fresh legs, and I think you could see in extra time we had a couple carrying out there. Dean Parrott's hamstring had gone and Walton's hamstring had gone, and you know we were unable to make the changes and inject the game, and it got away from us a little bit in extra time, but I thought they were magnificent over 90 minutes tonight.
So it's Wycombe versus Southend in the League Two playoff final at Wembley a week tomorrow, Saturday, May the 23rd. Tickets go on sale this morning, with Wanderers allocated over 21,000. This evening, Middlesbrough are at home to Brentford for the second leg of their Championship playoff semi-final. Middlesbrough go into the match with a 2-1 lead. And Watford have announced that their first friendly ahead of the new Premier League season will be a trip to AFC Wimbledon on Saturday, July the 11th. BBC Three Counties News and Sports. The next full bulletin is at 8.
There's a voice that keeps on calling me. Down the road is where I'll always be. Every stop I make a new friend. Can't stay for long, just turn around and I'm gone again. Maybe tomorrow I'll wanna settle down. Until tomorrow I'll just keep moving on. Down this road that never seems to end. When new adventure lies just around the bend. So if you wanna join me for a while, just grab your hat, come travel light, that's hobo style. Maybe tomorrow I'll wanna settle down. Until tomorrow, the whole world is my home. So if you wanna join me for a while, just grab your hat, come travel light, that's hobo style. Until tomorrow, I'll just keep moving on. waiting to unfold. A brand new tale no one has ever told. We've journeyed far, but you know it won't be long. We're almost there and we paid our fare with a hobo song. Maybe tomorrow I'll wanna settle down. Until tomorrow I'll just keep moving on. So if you wanna join me for a while, just grab your hat, come travel light, that's hobo style. Maybe tomorrow I'll find what I call home. Until tomorrow, you know I'm free to roll.
Morning, guys. Iain Lee, BBC Three Counties Radio. Gosh, if you've just tuned in, what an half hour, What You Done Myths. Blimey. It's been very emotional 30 minutes. Lots of stuff to talk about. We've been... oh, yeah. What would you get insured? The Bedfordshire Police talking about homophobic hate crime. All kinds of bits and pieces we've had. Catherine, got any texters?
Yeah, the homophobic hate crime story is what's getting him texting this morning.
Oh, yeah.
Pat in Houghton Regis. Hi, Iain. Why don't Bedfordshire Police just get on with dealing the crime that's reported to them instead of prioritising name-calling within the gay communities? If they're violently attacked for their sexuality, then of course it's a crime like any other. My relative was mugged and punched in the face, and what did the police do? Nothing. They didn't even flag it up as important. For goodness sake, this is another Ollie Martin's idea. Pat. And the other one was from Snuffers, who said, are you sure flying the rainbow flag doesn't mean that Zippy, Bungle and George are in residence?
It's a good point. Morning, Steve!
Morning.
You liked that one, didn't you, about Bungle?
Yeah,
yes,
that's about right for our society, isn't it?
Yeah, Bungle, Bear, Rod, Jane and Freddie. I was always suspicious of Rod, Jane and Freddie. It was the 70s, and Freddie, you know, they look very suspect, those three. I wonder what they got up to.
Maybe they should run the police force.
Well, maybe they should. Hey, are Rod, Jane and Freddie still alive?
Oh, I don't know.
Oh, we'll find out. Catherine's pointing her finger down, which I think means either...
One's gone.
Which one?
Rod or Freddie.
Oh, no, really? Oh, no. B.B. King and now Rod or Freddie. Steve, what have you got for us, mate? You must be over the moon about this, the rainbow flag being flown. Yeah?
Yeah, the only rainbow is Bungle, isn't it? Bungle and Zippy.
We just did that, mate.
Yeah, well, I'm a bit slow.
Oh, really? Oh, don't be so hard on yourself, Steve. Go on, what do you want to say?
Well, a crime's a crime, isn't it? Whether they're, I don't know, lesbians or whatever, all black, pink, yellow, a crime's a crime. So why they sort of like package it up as, you know, liaison officers and flying the flag, it's like preferential treatment for the minorities of all kinds in this country.
When, of course, everybody should be treated equal, shouldn't they?
Exactly. Well, yeah, but we like to use the word equal, but people of all people of all kinds of creeds have got prejudice to all sorts of people. It doesn't matter whoever they are. No, people have got caravans in their front gardens. People don't like them, do they?
I don't like caravans in front gardens. I hate those people. The police should certainly not. If they get a phone call saying we've been burgled and they turn up and there's a caravan in the front garden, the police should drive past.
Exactly.
Everybody else should be treated equal, shouldn't they?
Well, yeah, then you've got your DIY mechanic on a Sunday morning giving it large for his car.
The DIY mechanic giving it large, he's excluded as well. Everybody else should be treated equal, shouldn't they, Steve?
Yes, thereabouts.
Thank you very much indeed. Catherine.
Rod, Jane and Freddie.
Yeah, go on. Get ready for some bad news, Just.
No,
OK.
No one's dead.
Oh.
No, that's the good news. Here's some even better news. You're not far wrong with your assumption.
They all had it away, did they?
In June 2008, Rod, Jane and Freddie appeared on the show 50 Ways to Leave Your TV Lover on Sky and talked about newspaper claims.
Sounds like a good show. Why wasn't I voicing it?
You were busy in 2008, weren't you?
Yeah, I was a proper radio station. Yeah.
They talked about
not in 2008, Kelly. No. That stopped in 2004.
They talked about newspaper claims that they're involved in a love triangle.
Yeah, love triangle.
They revealed that Rod and Jane had in fact been married and divorced. Jane partnering up with Freddie sometime after he'd joined the trio, a relationship that continues to this day.
But did Rod and Freddie ever get it on? It's the 70s. Rod, Jane and Freddie getting it on. It was the 70s. Put your keys in the bowl, please. Oh, dearie me. You're right, Just.
Bungle, I don't think he'd be, how can I put this, a gentle lover.
Oh, I got a minute.
Je
veux et je viens.
Hey, have you seen the Rude episode of Rainbow they did?
I haven't. You know what? I loved it.
It's brilliant.
Is that the one where they're talking about clackers?
I don't remember. All I remember is that Bungle comes through peeling a banana.
Yeah.
1 skin, 2 skin, 3 skin. Bungle, will you stop it? It's brilliant, and it's all full of sexual innuendo. It's brilliant.
It
It's on
didn't go
YouTube.
out, did it? Wasn't it
no,
Christmas
it's on
tape or
YouTube.
something?
It's on. It's a treat. A very, very naughty treat. Justin.
Yeah.
Some plum has got. I bet someone's got their plums insured as well. Actually.
Well, yeah, that's probably what I would get insured.
Sorry. What? What?
What? Why not?
Some plum has got his nose insured because his job is sniffing cheese. Wants to come round our house, my boys, blimey. For like 5... And J-Lo got her bum insured. I don't believe these. How can you phone up Churchill and say, Churchill, could you insure my bum, please? Oh, yes. How's he going to do that?
Well, if he's sniffing for a living,
yes,
and his nose is what makes him his money, I think he's got every right to insure his nose for £5 million.
I mean, really. Well,
yeah.
Scott suggested that you insure your genius.
Very kind,
you
Scott.
Go for
Thank
your
you.
plums.
Thank you. Yeah.
What have you got for us?
Well, I've taken this one to the streets, asking people what they would insure. Some unusual answers. One guy here, he has really hit the jackpot as to what he would insure. Here's what happened on the streets.
Taking it to the streets with J-Dog.
From previous history, because I've been knocked down twice, I think I'll do my legs.
Morning, madam. Nice trolley. Which part of you would you get insured?
My feet. Because they take me about, I'd be lost without them.
That is, again, a fantastic answer.
Good morning.
Lovely, yeah, have a good day.
Thank you, bye.
Feel the vibe.
I would want to insure my head, because obviously my head does all the work. Without my head, I'd be useless. Obviously, using my head pays the bills.
My aura.
How much would that be worth? Your aura, what's it worth?
More than a million. More than a million, I would say. Maybe like priceless, yeah.
Priceless?
Maybe, yeah.
You're saying you're priceless?
Yeah, I'm saying, yeah.
All right, okay. Thanks very much.
Cheers, thank you.
Me? Hearing aid. My hands. So I use my hands, I love music.
You mix it up, yeah?
No, not mix it up, play it. Piano, drums.
So without your hands, you'd be a lost soul, wouldn't you?
Yes.
Well, I love that. Does that fella really do all of his work with his head? What does he? Does he nail in the nails with his head instead of a hammer? I mean, he didn't sound the brightest.
To be fair, he just looked like an average street boy.
You're just saying things that are making me laugh, partly because I don't understand what you're saying.
Average street boy.
I don't know what that means.
He just was a guy in a 3-stripe tracksuit, baseball cap on the wrong way round, just going to work.
Justin, you really made me laugh today, thank you. Listen, last hour of the show, it would be remiss. You do the best tribute. So who's that fella BBC always gets on? Lizo Mambazo.
Yes.
Lizo Mazimba.
Yeah.
He's rubbish, right? And I'll say it, he's rubbish. And he's the BBC showbiz correspondent. Lizo Mazimba, he's I'm not being funny, right?
No feeling.
He's got no feeling. He's got no feeling. And you know that he's looked it all up on Wikipedia.
Yeah.
You know the stuff, mate. Apart from the words to You've Got to Hide Your Love Away. If you missed that in the first hour, shame on you. That'll be in the podcast. There's a lot of Dealey in the podcast this week. It's got to be said.
Probably a bad thing. But no, BB King, I'll take it to the streets. And also, a bit like last week, look, it's ridiculous at the moment. Every single week we are losing a legend. And the shock as well. I think with BB King, a lot of people in the know probably thought this might be coming. But still, the timing this morning...
I told you a couple of weeks ago, get ready. It looked like it was going to happen. One of your little packages, please.
With pleasure.
And then, if you don't mind, we'll send it to Liza Mambazo and say, this is what you should be doing, fella. Once more, but with feeling.
Hey, I'll leave that to you.
You know what he's missing, Liza Mazimba?
Yeah.
Vibe.
He's got no vibe. Justin?
Yeah.
Speak to you later on, mate.
Thank you.
Ta-ta, ta-ta. He's got no vibe.
Vibeless.
Got any texters?
Twangers, says Ian. It was twangers. Rainbow.
Twangers?
That's what they were talking about. That was the episode you were referring to.
Okay. It's on YouTube. It's absolutely filthy, but it's very, very funny.
Yeah. Well, I've retweeted Lisa Hunter. She's come forth with the YouTube link, so you can have a look for yourself.
Zippy and Bungle went down to the jungle to have a bit of fun. Zippy got silly, pulled out. Oh, no. And also, that last word doesn't rhyme with fun. It should be bun.
Just the way I say it.
Oh.
Travel news for beds, cards and bugs.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Still busy on the M25 anti-clockwise around junction 19 for Watford, and Boreham Wood has still got delays on the A1 southbound from the Holiday Inn to Barnet Lane at the Stirling corner. In Little Haddam, the A120 slow westbound at Albury Road, and also in Dunstable on the A5 the High Street, that's looking slow just after Half Moon Lane. Looking at the train departure boards, and I can't see any reports of any major delays at the moment. Samantha Bruff, BBC Three Counties Radio.
Sammy, thank you very much. I think I forgot to mention on air, sorry, I tweeted it. We spoke to Lydia earlier on, who's looking for her dad, Brian Byrne, who's gone missing. So the pictures of him are on Facebook now. So if you get the chance, you never know, do you? And I don't normally do these things, but you never know. Facebook.com/BBC3CR. Go and have a look. There's some pictures of Brian. He's very distinctive looking, and his distinctive van. If you've seen them, well, in the last 7-8 days... get in touch. Probably best to get in touch with the police. 101, I would suggest. Facebook.com/BBC3CR and share it around, Right, 7:45. It's Friday, the 15th of May. I'm Iain Lee. These are your headlines on BBC Three Counties Radio. Wycombe Wanderers are through to the League Two playoff final at Wembley after beating Plymouth last night, but Stevenage miss out after losing in extra time at Southend. Bedfordshire Police are calling for people to report homophobic hate crime, and a memorial garden for babies and children at Milton Keynes Hospital has been vandalised. 08459 455 555. What happened to the lollipop man who stopped a fire engine on a 999 call? We'll find out after the weather with Elizabeth.
Beds, hearts and bucks weather.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Hello, very good morning to you. We're starting to see that cloud thin and break. We'll get some good spells of sunshine for the rest of the day now. Not wall-to-wall sunshine. There will be some cloud around at times and just a light westerly breeze, so it'll feel nice and pleasant. We're looking at top temperatures of up to 16 or 17 Celsius, 63 in Fahrenheit. Staying dry, of course, for the rest of the day today and overnight too. A mild night to come. Temperatures down to 10 or 11 degrees. There will be a bit more cloud overnight and possibly a few outbreaks of drizzle into tomorrow morning, but that's all it will be. Over the weekend, there will be plenty of sunshine around, particularly on Saturday. It will be a dry weekend, but it will be a touch cooler and a touch breezier, and it will be a bit cloudier too on Sunday. There will be some rain to start the new working week. A northwesterly wind is going to drive some showers down at times through the course of next week. That's the forecast.
Thank you, Elizabeth.
Sometimes in life, things don't always go to plan.
It worked perfectly for 2.5, 3 years till 2 days ago.
He should refund me £1,900.
Which is where we come in.
We managed to get them to agree to come back in to the property on an agreed date.
The JVS show takes on your consumer problems.
I've basically lost the whole lot in administration charges.
And helps to get to the right solution.
I've received a cheque back for £578.
Jonathan, I can't thank you enough. I don't know how you do what you do, you and your team.
The JVS show, weekdays from 9, here on BBC Three Counties Radio.
Call 08459 455 555.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
I am not a fan of lollipop men and women. I don't think we... people say, oh, you're so cold. No, we don't need them, right? Because if kids are young enough, they need a lollipop man or lady, then their parents should be taking them to school and crossing the road with them. And if they're old enough they don't need a lollipop man or lady, well, then there's your answer. And this guy... remind us of this story, Catherine, because this was just incredible.
Well, this was the story of the fire engine that was trying to get through, and the lollipop man, in this case, refused to let him pass. He insisted on carrying out his duties.
He put his hand up and stopped so that the kids could cross, and the fire brigade had to get out and move the kids and move him.
This was last month outside the William Austin Junior School.
Jackie Britton saw the incident. Morning, Jackie.
Good morning.
Just remind us what you saw.
Well, it was in the afternoon, school time, kids were coming out, and I heard the sirens. I was upstairs, I looked out my window, the fire engine came down the road. He was already crossing the kids in the middle of the road. As the fire engine got near to him, it slowed down, stopped, and he just brought another group of kids out, started crossing them, and just stood there. And in the end, they got out the fire engine and had to move him out of the way and the kids to get through. And
How did I have visions of them picking him up and doing the fireman's lift. They didn't do that, did they?
They didn't do that. They just went to speak to him. I mean, I couldn't hear what they were saying, and they sort of ushered him off. Obviously saying to him get out of the way.
He's been sacked, the lollipop man, on the grounds of gross misconduct. What do you reckon to that, Jackie?
Well, I'm sorry he lost his job. I mean, it's a shame, but the incidents on that day, it was justified. There was nothing else they could do.
It seems crazy, doesn't it? I mean, it's a bad example to set to the kids. We're always teaching my boys, there's a siren going, you get out of the way. Whether you're on your bike, you're in a car, you're on the pavement, just stand back out of the way and let them get on with it.
That's right, and I mean, he drove a car. He used to park just outside near our house. So, I mean, it wasn't as if he was unfamiliar anyway, I mean, it's in the highway code anyway.
Has anyone replaced him, do you know, Jackie? Have you seen anyone else out there?
No, there's nobody been replaced. It's been totally without a crossing patrol now, nearly a month.
And is it, cause I'm not a massive fan of lollipop people. I don't know if we need them. What do you think? Does it look dangerous out there? Do you think that it could be a bit risky?
Yes, I mean, I did the job for 20 years. And
okay.
And I worked on 4 different sites. I absolutely loved the job. But yes, really, it does. It does. In most places. There are probably some quieter roads, but if you were to stand out here and watch how the cars park, and they let the kids out on, right by the school gates there, it is dangerous.
Jackie, can I ask a question? When you were a lollipop woman, did your lollipop stick, did it come in a case?
No, mine was. I used to keep mine at home in the garage.
Oh, because you sometimes see them carrying around in like protective bags, like guitars or something.
Right, yeah, that's only because if they can't leave the pole at the school or they don't live near the site, then they have to have one that folds down.
Did you have a bit of chalk in your pocket, Jackie?
No, I didn't actually. I had a notebook and a pen.
Oh, OK. Because my favourite fact, of course, is the black line in the middle is to chalk down numbers, isn't it? Number plates.
That's right, yeah. But I never actually did that. If there was, and it was only on a few occasions, problems, I just used to put it down on a piece of paper in my pocket on a pen.
Jackie, it's good to talk to you. Could you be our official lollipop person correspondent?
Yes, I would take that on, my darling, any time.
Jackie, that is your title. There's no money involved. You know that, don't you?
I do it for free anyway.
Jackie, you're a good sport. Thank you very much indeed. That's Jackie Britton. Keep her number. File her under official lollipop person correspondent for this show. I think we might start handing out more official correspondent positions.
Why not? I think we should.
I think, well, let me think about this, and maybe next week we'll start handing out some official correspondent positions. 08459 455 555 81333. Start your text 3CR. Have we got any texters? No. I hope so, because I've got nothing in the papers.
Well, yesterday you spoke about the woman who'd been told to take her flagpole down because it was dangerous.
Oh. The Daily Mail did a brilliant story. And as soon as I saw it, I thought, this is not the story they want us to think it is. We were supposed to be outraged that this pensioner had been ordered by politically correct councillors to remove her flagpole. She's not allowed to fly the Union flag or the flag. That wasn't the story. It wasn't because it was the Union flag. It wasn't, because Muslims would be offended. It was health and safety. She had a 70-foot flagpole up and it wasn't erected properly. And the council said, look, it's not about the flag. If this falls on someone, a kiddie or a car, we're going to look really bad, and people will say, why didn't you make her take the flag down?
Well, this is it. Phil said you predicted an exaggerating response, including the words, I bet they wouldn't take it down if it had the ISIS flag on it. Do you remember saying that?
I did say that, yes.
I said, if you check the UKIP Facebook page, you'll find a long thread full of comments exactly as you predicted.
Really?
Yeah, apparently so.
Why am I feeding back so much? They're no louder than normal. What's going on here?
Mine are really loud.
I can't do anything about that, I'm afraid.
You can.
Yeah, you can.
We'll do that off air, 'cause I don't know which one it is. Well, her line was, well, this isn't what you'd expect. You'd expect this in communist Russia or something. But there's loads of that on the UKIP page, is there?
Yeah,
oh,
apparently so.
Dearie me. Well, there you go.
Someone's asking about the Zippy and Bungle rhyme and wanted to know the last line. Just
I've retweeted
imagination.
it. I think I've retweeted it, so you can go and have a little look at that and see. Anything else, or should I try and find a story in one of the papers?
Let's talk about stories. It's people. Let's talk about
it. Exactly. Here's something, and I totally buy this. I don't like talking to people. I don't. It's weird. I don't like conversation with people. Well, it's weird. I must have missed the day at school when they taught you how to do small talk. I don't get it. My father-in-law had a go at me once for not being able to do small talk. I didn't know what to say to him. Sounds like a joke. And do you know what? I'm going to use that one day. Let me write that down. Didn't know what to say to him. But it's true, I didn't know what to say to him. I was speechless. I don't get it. What do you do for a living? I work I'm a trucker. All right. How's it going? The only small talk I know how to do is if I'm in the back of a cab. Busy night drive? I'm in there. I can talk to drivers in cab. Busy night drive?
I was in the back of a limousine in a funeral cortege the other day, and we had exactly the same conversation. Of course he's been busy.
Yeah, of course. But people are dying all the time. And that's sad but true. Make small talk at work. We'd rather go and hide in the loo. Oh, yes. Trapped at your desk, it can feel like there's no escape from the inane chatter of your colleagues. Are you listening, colleagues? Inane chatter. I think you know who I'm talking about. That'll get them panicking. But when it comes to avoiding a detailed report of their latest holiday or an update on that long-running drama with the plumber, it seems we'll try almost anything. I tell you what doesn't work these days, and this should work, right? And I do this with Scoins a lot, and he doesn't take the hint. Scoins will come and stand behind me, right, and talk about, oh, I don't know, Eurovision or elections or Nadine Dorris or, you know, Luton Council or something. And he'll talk, and so after 2 minutes you think I should turn around and face him. So I swivel on it and I turn around and face him and he talks. And I give him like 3-4 minutes and I think, right, this is boring now. So then I go back to mainly composing emails to you, Catherine, saying, God, Paul Scoins is so boring. And that should be enough. The back-turning, the typing, the picking up of the phone, the looking at... That should be enough. But it's not. He'll carry on talking. He'll actually carry on talking.
Do you know what I wish they would install? Those chairs out of The Voice. So people can start, and if I'm interested, I'll turn around. But if I'm not, they should jog on.
Whether it's hiding in toilets or going to a fake meeting. A fake meeting? A feating? Wow. Britons will do a lot to avoid small talk. I'm always pretending to be on the phone when I'm out and about. Always pretending to be on the phone. And I've got off tube trains early to avoid... Hugh Dennis got on a tube train, and I'd met him like the week before. I don't know him, but I'd met him the week before, and we'd had a conversation. I thought... It was literally 4 days before, and I thought, that's close enough that if he sees me, we can have another conversation. I've got nothing to say to him. I can't hear on the Underground particularly well, as you know, because of the hubbub. Yeah, I can't hear very well on a tube. I really can't. So I got off. I got off at the next stop. I hid behind a book, got off at the next stop. Roland Riveron as well. I got off a bus early so I wouldn't have to talk to him. Well, a survey released today found nearly 6 in 10 people, 6 in 10, that's almost 50%, admit dodging conversations with colleagues.
60%.
While a third do so, well, a third isn't 60%, mate, that's about 28%.
6 in 10 is.
Do every day. It's just under 50%.
Anyway.
1 in 8, that's 90% of people say they hide from workmates.
It's an eighth.
For example, no thanks, mate, I've given up. That's a joke for the heads and the teenagers out there, guys. Have you got any Rizzlers, by the way? I don't know what I'm saying now. For example, by ducking down so their computer screen blocks them from view. Others pretend to be on the phone, that's me. Make up an urgent deadline. Oh, this is a great one! I'm going to be watching for this in the kitchen. Or open the office fridge and peer inside until they're left alone. Oh, that's made me laugh. Oh, that's a good one. The survey of 2,000 people commissioned by Age UK.
Oh.
What?
Old people like to talk, don't they?
As part of an anti-loneliness campaign. No, don't give us any of that nonsense. Oh, OK. The major reason given for avoiding chit-chat was a lack of time. No, I don't want to talk to you. I don't want to talk to you. I don't want to know that your kid can spit great people. I don't want to know that. I want to know about your kids, Catherine, because your kids are beautiful. Yours are the only children I think I'm interested in apart from... Well... No, yours are the only children I think I'm interested in.
What about your own?
Exactly.
Yeah.
They're getting right on my nerves at the moment. They're getting right on my... Do you know what they were doing last night?
Tell me.
And I must admit...
I'm really interested.
I must admit I joined in because it was winding their mum up.
Go on. Was it involving bottoms?
Why is she looking in the fridge?
Heads, shoulders, bums and willies, bums and willies. Heads, shoulders, bums and willies, bums and willies. And then they've peaked then, right? They've peaked. Well, they've done head, shoulders, bums and willies. Where are you going to go for the next bit? Bums and willies and farts and bums. Heads, shoulders, bums and willies, bums and willies.
Travel news for beds, cards and bugs.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
In Wye Boston on the A1, it's slow southbound from the St Neots Junction to the Black Cat roundabout, and in Little Haddam it's slow on the A120 and Albury Road westbound. Park Lane in Beaconsfield is busier than usual in both directions at the A40 and London Road, and on the M25 it's busy anti-clockwise from junction 17 for Maple Cross to 16 for the M40. Samantha Bruff, BBC Three Counties Radio.
Sammy, listen, I know I cut you short. You've always got longer. When that music goes, you've got as long. I don't need to talk. I'm not James Whale. It's not about ego for me.
well, it just feels like it should be time for you to talk, but I can carry on.
You've got to stop now.
Local and vocal across beds, hearts and bucks.
This is BBC Three Counties Radio.
It's 8 o'clock. I'm Simon Oxley. The headlines: Wickham heading for Wembley, but Stevenage miss out. Bedfordshire Police urge people to report homophobic hate crime, and vandals target Memorial Garden at Milton Keynes Hospital.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Wickham Wanderers are through to the League Two playoff final at Wembley after beating Plymouth at Adams Park last night. Gareth Ainsworth's side will face Southend next Saturday after they beat Stevenage.
If we can do the job at Wembley, there will be a high key celebration there, believe me. But tonight, we've won a game, we've got to Wembley. Yes, we want to celebrate with the fans, and you've done fantastic for us. I'm sure the boys will be having a beer amongst themselves, but publicly, we haven't achieved anything yet.
Meanwhile, Stevenage boss Graham Westley has raised question marks over his future after their extra-time defeat.
My contract expires on May the 31st, and things at the club are going to change, I think, and we'll see how things evolve in the coming days and the coming weeks.
Bedfordshire Police are calling for people to report homophobic hate crime. They say people need to have the courage to report it and have raised the rainbow flag at police headquarters in Kempston. Greg Ratty is a gay rights campaigner and a former advisor to Hertfordshire Police.
I personally think it's a little bit of PR, really, because I just don't think that things aren't prioritised as much as they were. For example, I got shouted at in the street, puff, the other day. I didn't go to the police. There's no point. It's not something I would bother even to do.
Network rail workers will begin a 24-hour strike on Bank Holiday Monday, the 25th of May. Members of the RMT union will walk out at 5 p.m. in a dispute over pay. A memorial garden for babies and children at Milton Keynes Hospital has been vandalised. A water feature was smashed and memorial stones taken. One parent has now set up an online page to raise funds to repair it. Tracy Ray is a bereavement midwife who helped parents set up the garden.
It's very, very private. We didn't have CCTV because, we agreed as a team, the gardening team and myself, that we didn't want CCTV. We wanted it to be private and personal for bereaved parents. However, obviously, we need to change our mind, I think, now.
David Cameron will have his first meeting since the election with Nicola Sturgeon of the SNP today. The two leaders will meet in Edinburgh. The daughter of a missing man from Hertfordshire has appealed for him to make contact. 58-year-old Brian Byrne from Hertford was last seen last Thursday evening. His daughter, Lydia Tyrrell, told this programme that the discovery of his white Vauxhall van in Nazing in Essex on Wednesday afternoon was a breakthrough.
There's been helicopters out, but finding the van was a revelation, I guess, because that we were kind of holding on to that would have been key for us to try and locate his whereabouts. We've got so many volunteers out. Yesterday I went up to the Lee Valley boating area, and that's where they were parked up. There was volunteers, about 30 police out looking for him.
A lollipop man's been sacked following a council investigation after he stopped a fire engine on its way to a 999 call in Luton. Firefighters had to physically remove the crossing attendant from the street outside William Austin Junior School last month. And one of the famous blues singers, B.B. King, has died. He was 89. The weather: sunny spells, a maximum temperature 16 degrees Celsius. And you can get the latest news and sport online at bbc.co.uk/3 counties.
Thank you, Simon. Morning. I'll be honest. Today's show looked a bit flat when we came in this morning at 5 minutes to 6. No, I mean at 4:30. It's been a corker. The first hour down the rabbit hole. We don't talk about it after 7, but it went half good. last hour, we had two very emotional women. We had Lydia on, whose dad, Brian, has gone missing. If you want to see what Brian looks like, Brian Byrne, he's a big lad, 6'5". Facebook.com/BBC3CR. He's been missing since last week. And she was obviously very upset, so fingers crossed he's all right, and he's just wants a little bit of time alone. Let's hope that's what's happened. Oh, there's been other bits and pieces as well. We've been asking what you'd insure. I'll stop talking and just crack on, shall I? Yes.
Across beds, hearts and bucks.
This is BBC Three Counties Radio.
Now, Bedfordshire Police are calling for people to have the courage to report homophobic hate crime. The force says that despite progress towards legal equality, many people still live in fear of the crime, which goes underreported in the county. Today, the rainbow flag is being raised at police headquarters in Kempston as part of a celebration of equality. Well, Deputy Chief Constable of Bedfordshire Police is John Boucher. Morning, John.
Morning, Ian. Thanks for inviting me on the show.
It's an absolute pleasure, sir. How do you know it's being unreported if it's not being reported?
We know from speaking to the communities that many people don't want to report these crimes. They think it will simply stop at some stage. I think many people, you probably had some of your listeners ring in, accept certain levels of behaviour. And some people think if they report it, things might get worse. And young people especially live in real fear of this sort of activity. It's just bullying and unacceptable. And all sorts of young people, they self-harm. There's intimidation and bullying on the internet with regards to homophobic activity. It's not acceptable. It's not fair on our young people, and we need to do more about it.
What would you class as homophobic bullying? We spoke to a gentleman earlier on who said that he'd been walking down the street the other day and someone shouted "puff" at him. Now, it's quite a 1970s thing, but and he said he didn't report it. Would you class that as homophobic bullying?
I think it's certainly homophobic behaviour towards that gentleman, and that gentleman might feel, and he's every right to, that he's tolerant of that. I think when you think of young people still finding their way in life and discovering themselves when they are subjected to that in the street and at school, that causes them not to then go into school and not to thrive at school, that's the sort of vulnerability that I think we in the police and partners and in education have got to work really hard to demonstrate that we are there for them and we can help them and we will help them.
So the police have got it wrong in the past then, because the fact that you're having to flag up that, gay people can go and talk to the police would imply that you've not given that message well enough before now.
I think society's got it wrong in the past, Ian. I think we're probably all of an age where we know that. The raising of the flag today, which you mentioned, is just one thing that we're doing in Bedfordshire and other forces across the three counties. All the forces are very focused on these issues of hate crime. We're doing as much as we can to support the International Day on Sunday, which has been going since 1990. And again, I think from your question, that demonstrates it's only since 1990 that we had this International Day. I think in the past, going back many years, the police haven't got it right, and we're doing everything we can now to address that.
Hey, 50 years ago, you'd have been arresting them, not flying the flag. So it shows that we are making progress. The gentleman we spoke to earlier on thought that Greg Ratty, who is a gay rights campaigner, he suggested that maybe flying the flag was a little bit patronising.
I suppose that's his opinion and he's entitled to it, and I have had a couple of people mention that to me as well, but I've had more people say to me it's a demonstration of the force's commitment to this. I think far too long we've sort of, not taken these terrible, terrible crimes seriously enough. We are doing that now. Hate crime is a priority for the force in Bedfordshire. We had double the reports last year with regards to homophobic crimes because of the confidence people have got in coming forward. And I think you may know we've got these liaison officers now.
Yes, the lesbian and gay liaison officers, yeah.
Yeah, that have additional training. We've already found with having those officers that people are more confident because those officers spend more time with people in coming forward and supporting prosecutions against people who commit these offences who are simply bullies and bigots.
Oh, yeah. What extra training of these laglos, that's probably the last time I'm going to use that, what extra training have they had?
They have special training. It's a week's training where we look at case studies and experiences from listening to victims and witnesses in the past as to what I suppose you would say police didn't do.
Yeah.
So they have far more empathy and understanding. But what I would say is not only in Bedfordshire Police, but across police forces and certainly in the region for 3 counties, our recruits all get really good input now around how to support people who are subject to homophobic attacks and in reporting those crimes.
I was going to say, why don't all coppers have this training?
They do. No, they do. I think, and I will use the term once if I may, Laglos do have that additional training that gives them that extra sort of understanding about these issues. I mean, one thing I do want to get across, though, and if I can, is it really is important that people do report these crimes, because if we don't know about it, it won't necessarily stop. I think that's why people often don't report it. It won't necessarily stop. We can help. And it might not be that we arrest them. We might be able to do things working with the victims just so that they can live a much healthier and freer life without that sort of intimidation and bullying.
John, I wish you the best of luck with it. Thanks for coming on.
Thanks, Ian. Thanks
Cheers,
for
mate. Thank you very much indeed. That's John Boucher, Deputy Chief Constable of Bedfordshire Police. 08459 455 555. I suppose anything that helps communities trust the police more. I don't know. I need to speak to a gay man. I demand to speak to a gay man. What? There are gay women?
Oh, yeah.
What?
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, I need to speak. You know that someone will go, hang on, this only Laglos are lesbian and gay liaison officers. What about the transgenders? What about the bisexual? They're all covered. They're not covered in that title. I need to speak to lesbian, gay, bisexual or transgender people.
Well, and what do you encounter every day? How much of it is something you would report?
Well, yeah, I mean, someone shouting... It's funny, isn't it? Someone shouting puff in the street, you kind of go... Oh. But then someone shouting the abbreviated version of Pakistani in the street, you think, I don't know. It's a strange one, isn't it? I don't know.
But then also being whistled at in the street, having someone shouting something disgusting at you because you're a woman. I mean, I haven't reported that. Maybe I should.
Are we too sensitive? Have we gone too much the other way?
I think there's a certain amount of me just thinking, well, he's an idiot. I'm not going to respond to it.
Are we oversensitive to? I'm just kicking. I'm not saying this is what I think. I'm just kicking this idea around. Are we too sensitive in the offence that we take? But then again, I'm a white, middle-aged, middle-class bloke. There's not really the best insult I had shouted at me in the street was when some builders were eyeing up my wife, and I was with her. I was wearing a green jacket and a hat. I might have had glasses on as well. And they were eyeing. I said, "Hey, steady on, mate." He nudged at his mate and looked at my wife's bum. I said, "Oh, steady on, mate. I'm here." And he started effing and jeffing, and I started effing and jeffing. And all he could come up with was, "Yeah, why don't you go and get stuffed, Glenn Miller?" That was the best. And I did look a little bit like Glenn Miller, actually. And I thought, fair play, that's quite clever. But that was the best he could get me with. I'm not Asian or black or gay, so there's not really a lot you can sting me with.
I had a charming bloke shouting at me across the road at about 8 o'clock in the morning on a Sunday morning, shouting something at me. I was walking on my own.
There's always someone feeling randy.
He was with his mate and he shouted something. I shouted back that I wasn't impressed, in a shorter word.
Yeah.
And he threatened to come over the road and beat me up.
Wow.
Happy Sunday.
Yeah. Well, you've got Mossad training. He'd have regretted that. Well, I told you what I shouted at that lorry driver the other day.
Yeah.
You
said he wasn't very clever, but I thought it was fun.
It wasn't my best. I was thinking off the hoof. He called me a bell, and I came back with something. But I don't know why a bell is offensive. Couldn't hear everything he said. And then I came back with I snapped back. It was a knee-jerk reaction. Can't say it. Far too sweary. But as I drove away, I thought, oh, man, you let the side down there.
Do you know what, though? If you'd have let him say that and not said anything, you'd have thought, I should have said this, I should have said that.
I'm glad I said something, definitely.
It's never as clever as you'd hope, though,
And I've never shouted that word so loudly in the street before. Wow. Really. We got any texters?
We've got a few.
Go on. 81333. Start your text as 3CR, please.
This is from Dave, who says, when I've stood waiting to speak to my boss as he pretends to do something on his computer, I softly whistle through my back teeth. Oh. He wears a hearing aid and it drives him mad. He's ripped them from his head more than once, says Dave. I'm sure he's a great favourite around the office.
Yeah, fun times.
And Mark in Bedford, in defence of the lollipopper, I got run over by a car overtaking another car at a zebra crossing when I was 8. They got a lollipop person after that. That's Mark in Bedford.
Tough guy, huh?
Yeah.
I hate this country, and I'm going to tell you why. I'll tell you why.
Go on.
The perfect... Sorry, I popped. I haven't popped for a long time.
That's a radio term. It's not what you think it is.
The Perfect weather has led to a surge of butterflies in our gardens, meadows, woods and parks.
Gorgeous.
Experts, I flipping hate those disgusting creatures. If we get rid of any creature in the world, first one would be northern producers.
Oh.
The second one, if I had two options, would be, and don't take that personally, but it's aimed primarily at you.
And my people.
The producers. I hate butterflies and moths. They're just disgusting.
But I helped your wife buy a load of them last year.
Disgusting.
You grew them in your living room, didn't you?
Yeah, and then I killed them.
Oh.
I pulled their wings off and set fire to their bodies.
In your imagination.
A British Trust for Ornithology survey has tracked soaring numbers of... They've even got horrible names. Brimstones and tortoise shells. Record numbers of peacock butterflies have also been recorded. A spokesman said... When a spell of dry, warm weather happened at the beginning of April, the butterflies took advantage of it, and reports shot through the roof. These sad little sacks with their old-fashioned police notepads that've got the elastic band, and you take it off and you flip it over. Oh, look, there's a butterfly. I'm going to write that down. Oh, look, there's a butterfly. I'm going to write that down. Oh, look, there's a moth. I'm going to write that... Ah, jog on, fella. Go and... I tell you what, go and get a girlfriend, go and get a job, and get out of my... What are you doing, even doing in my garden? Get out. You lot make me sick. You disgust me, you perverts. Hate them.
What are you talking about?
You!
Travel news for beds, cards and bugs.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
On Park Lane in Beaconsfield, that's looking really busy in both directions at the A40 London Road, and the A1 southbound in Wye Boston, that's looking slow approaching the Black Cat roundabout from the St Neots Junction. In Little Haddam, the A120 is busy westbound around Albury Road, and in Aspenden on the A10 northbound, it's looking slow around the BP roundabout. Looking at the cameras on the motorway, so they're looking quiet at the moment. There's no reports of any major delays or problems, and no reports of any problems at the moment either with the trains. Samantha Bruff, BBC Three Counties Radio.
Thank you, Sammy. 8:16. It's Friday, the 15th of May. I'm Iain Lee. These are your headlines on BBC Three Counties Radio. Bedfordshire Police are calling for people to report homophobic hate crime. A memorial garden for babies and children at Milton Keynes Hospital has been vandalised, and Wycombe Wanderers are through to the League Two playoff final at Wembley after beating Plymouth last night, but Stevenage miss out after losing in extra time at Southend. Boo-hoo.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Phone cover looks like a little leather notelet, and it got me wondering.
Right.
Were you and your parents the kind of people that in the 1980s...
Had a Filofax?
No, well... But also kept your VHS video cassettes in plastic cases that look like leather books.
No.
You didn't do that?
No, we didn't.
Because you're quite common in real life.
How dare you?
I know I shouldn't deconstruct you now, but I'm going to. You're actually very, very common.
What?
How big's your TV?
Well, admittedly.
Hoisted by your own petard.
Yes, well, unfortunately, yes. I'm afraid I have let myself down with the size of my TV.
It's like 52 inches or something, isn't it?
No, it's, what is it, 42.
Okay.
40, I think, this one.
Really? Okay.
What did I have before?
You had something in the 50s, I'm sure.
I had a 42-inch.
Yep.
That went wrong, and I went for a 40-inch because my 42-inch had a massive frame around it. So the 40-inch looks much smaller. No, actually, I think it's the other way around. I think I've got a 46-inch.
And also, you can buy TVs without the frames around.
Yes, well, my new one has hardly got any frame.
Oh, that... So common.
It's very.
But you didn't have the VHS video things that look like books. You did, didn't you?
No, we didn't. No, I did have a Filofax thing.
Yeah, I bet you've still got it. I bet you still.
I haven't. But I like to keep my phone in a little leather wallet.
Yes.
Keep it all nice and snazzy.
Yes. Well, I wish I'd got mine earlier because my screen is smashed it.
Well, you see, that's why.
Yes.
That's why I've got this.
Yes, well done. What's in your show this morning, you snob?
No. Oh, by the way, talking of snob.
Yeah, go on.
You're going to love... There's a video going on Facebook later.
Yeah.
Because on Monday we've got an exclusive.
Oh.
An exclusive. We're doing a report on speeding on the M1 in Bedfordshire.
Okay, yeah.
And they took me out and they filmed me driving.
Who were they?
Along with
the boffins upstairs. Yes.
They took me out. They filmed me driving on the M1.
Yeah.
Well, That report, of course, will go out on Monday.
Oh, dear.
But it would appear they filmed all my outtakes of me being very, very rude about the car they were making me drive, and also the other drivers on the roads, and apparently they're going to put that on Facebook later.
Oh, not you being rude about other people. I won't believe it until I see it and it goes viral.
Well, that's happening later on today, apparently.
Fantastic.
Coming up on the big phone this morning from 9, do you think Nigel Farage should resign? Nigel Farage has ruled out standing down as leader of the party despite a bitter row over his future. Last night on the BBC's Question Time, he claimed to have a phenomenal level of support within the party. But just days ago, he was described by UKIP campaign chief as snarling, aggressive and thin-skinned. And the party treasurer, Hugh Williams, donor Stuart Wheeler and ex-MEP Godfrey Bloom, they've all suggested it's time for him to go. Well, from 9 this morning, I want to hear your reaction to this big story. It's all over the front pages of the papers today. Do you think Nigel Farage should resign? Your call, your opinion on 08459 455 555 from 9.
Every weekday from 3. Local stories.
People in Watford are being urged to celebrate their local heroes by creating a postcard in their honour. In other local news, rugby fans are being warned to watch out for fake World Cup tickets.
Roberto Peroni.
Now, a metal detectorist has discovered an archaeological find in a field near Royston in Hertfordshire. Taxi drivers in Luton are demanding to be allowed to drive in bus lanes at all times. There is to be a new station at the Leighton Buzzard Narrow Gauge Railway.
Roberto Peroni. Weekdays from 3 on BBC Three Counties Radio.
Yes! Yes!
Across beds, hearts and bucks.
This is Iain Lee.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Okay. Feeling the vibe. Morning, guys. Go back to that story about the baby memorial that got... smashed up by a bunch of idiots. We'll speak to one of the mums involved in that in just a little bit. But 08459 455 555 is the phone number. Katia!
Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning, Katia.
Yes, I have a lovely
Can
day.
I ask you?
Yes.
We're asking what part of your body you get insured, OK? What's this story, Catherine? Remind me of the story.
Cheese sniffer. Got his nose done.
What's your job? I'm a cheese sniffer. Jog on, mate. He's getting his nose insured.
Yeah, for $5 million.
How does that... Honestly, no one's been able to explain how does that work.
Do you know what? You'd probably make more. $5 million, you'd probably make more chopping it off than you would sniffing the cheese.
I would pay hoodies to chop my nose off.
Yeah.
Or I'd pay a hoodie to break my nose. You pay a hoodie, what? What do they want? A can of hooch and a packet of silk cut.
They don't
Break my nose.
They could just ram something up there quite heavy.
Yeah, exactly. Roger ramjet my nose, and then I lose my sense of smell. Sorry? You could have covered the phone. You got a cold, Katia?
Yes,
Well, hang on. Which is it?
One of the two.
OK, I'm going to say yes, because you sound snotty and you sound coffee.
Yeah.
I'm drinking coffee. There's a coincidence. So, how could you... Anyway.
Well, remember, if you can't smell it, you can't taste it either, so he's
Well, if you
completely
can't
out of the
smell it,
cheese
there's no way that he would have dealt it. Katia, what part of your body would you insure?
My eyes.
Your what?
Eyes.
Oh, it was the accent. Why would you insure your eyes?
Well, because I'm an engraver. If I can't
And insure
see...
your fingers then?
No.
Blind
because,
people can engrave. You said blind people can engrave.
No, because if something happened to my hands, I still could try and engrave them with my feet.
Supposing everything below the neck is gone. You're just a head on a tray.
Yes.
And that happens. I've seen it.
Yeah.
Think of...
Okay.
Oh, there's a dream. But Eric, dreams can come true, baby. Look at me. I'm into you.
Braille. I could engrave Braille.
You could engrave Braille?
Yes.
If you'd lost your eyes?
Yes.
So why have you insured your eyes then?
Okay, too late. Okay, let me think again.
What are you going to insure, Katia?
Okay, then my fingers, I guess.
Well, supposing you can't see anything. Do you know what I mean? You've not thought this through.
No, I haven't. I probably have to make an audio in case something awful happens to me.
Yeah, you should do something. Well, Katia, great call, mate. No! Thank you very much.
Call 08459 455 555.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Oh, dear. This is a very sad... Well, it's sad and it's puzzling, this story. I don't get it. CCTV is going to be installed in the Children's Memorial Garden at Milton Keynes Hospital in a bid to keep thieves and vandals out. A fountain was smashed to bits last week by someone trying to nick it. Emma Alban is a parent who helped create the garden. Morning, Emma.
Morning.
Thanks for joining us. Tell us about this garden. Why were you so keen to get this garden created?
Well, it's always been there. It's just kind of just been neglected over the years, and sadly we lost our daughter 3 years ago, so we didn't have that garden to visit, and we really wanted to create something for parents to be able to go to and find solace, really.
And describe it to us. What was it like before all this nonsense happened?
Absolutely beautiful. It's hard to describe. It was just picturesque. What we created was absolutely perfect, and we had such great feedback from it. We took quite some months planning it. A lot of work went into it. So it was really disappointing when obviously this has happened.
And what was your daughter's name, Emma?
Bella.
Bella. Did you have one of those pebbles with Bella's name? They sound lovely. What were they like?
They're just small, tiny black pebbles with children's names engraved on them. So we tried to cater for as many parents as possible that wanted to have one there. So there are, I believe, over 100 pebbles there.
It sounds like a very magical and special place for parents who are going through something that no parent should have to go through. And now some idiots have gone in and smashed bits up and tried to... What exactly have they done?
They've broken the water feature in half, and that's the centrepiece of the garden, and that seemed to be what they were aiming to take. It is fitted quite into the ground, so they weren't successful in getting it, but they did break it in half trying to do so. They damaged quite a lot of the shrubbery and the plants. It's just devastating to see it in the state that it's in now.
How did you discover this? It wasn't some poor parent, was it, that kind of walked in one day and went, oh, God.
No, fortunately not. But it was Tracy, the bereavement midwife, who was informed of it by the hospital staff.
Yeah.
So, and then, obviously, we were called, as myself and my partner, Lee, that actually provided the water feature to the garden. So he did a skydive with some friends
he was, because we
ago.
spoke to Tracy. He was the fella that did the skydive,
Yes.
did it? Oh, dearie me.
Yes.
Oh, dear.
To raise the funds for it. So
Were you not terrified, Emma, of him jumping out of an aeroplane?
Yes, I was, and I was pregnant with our second daughter then. So yes, very.
But he did it safely, obviously.
Yes, absolutely.
CCTV, it's looking like is going to have to be installed. I mean, sad turn of events, isn't it? But I guess it's essential.
Yes, absolutely. We did talk about installing CCTV when we were planning the garden, but it was something we wanted to avoid. We wanted parents and families to be able to go there and for it to be private, really, and not feel like you were being watched. And unfortunately, we've had to go to the length of having CCTV now, and hopefully parents and families will understand why we've had to do that.
And when do you hope to get it all back up and running and, looking spick and span again?
Well, we have our first anniversary coming up in June. So on Friday the 12th of June will be our first anniversary kind of celebration. So between 6 and 8 p.m. So all families, friends, parents are all welcome. So we really want to get it up and running by then.
There is a Just Giving page if anyone wants to contribute. JustGiving.com /
Yes, and we've had let me
just give out. Sorry, Christelle-Thomas, and it's CHRISTELLE-Thomas 1, the number 1. And that's been a lot of people going there, have there, Emma?
Yeah, absolutely. We've had overwhelmed actually by the support that we've had since it's happened, and. Even local charities such as Emily's Star, Harry's Rainbow, and the Jessica Sherman Foundation have all donated towards it. So it's really nice to see so many people getting behind it.
I think I can hear someone calling you in the background.
My daughter, my 18-month-old, yeah.
Oh, flip it away. It's funny, isn't it? Every stage of where they go through when they're young, you kind of think, I'll never forget this. Now I've got boys of 5 and 3. I can't remember what an 18 months can do, but they can pretty much do everything now, can't they?
Oh, amazing. As she keeps growing, it's the best age every month. It's another, this is the best part. We're very lucky that we've got another daughter, but it's.
Well, this is a very special place. Well, it's a special place that you can go and remember Bella, and all the other parents can go and remember.
Absolutely, and
their kids.
That's why it's so special. So,
Emma, I wish you the best of luck. I hope it gets sorted soon.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for your time. There we go. Oh, dearie me. 08459 455 555. Yeah, 18 months is a handful, I seem to remember. 18 months is tricky, isn't it? That's
when it starts getting psychological.
Because you can't really reason with an 18-month-old as well as, I mean, with a 3 and a 5-month-old, there is a psychological warfare going on. But an 18-month-old, they're just nuts, aren't they?
And they don't stay where you put them.
Dearie me, never again. Never again.
Travel news for beds, cards and bugs.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
In Flitwick, Station Road is reported to be blocked at the Avenue. We've heard caller Stu has called to say that there's been an accident there at the High Street and the Avenue. In Boston on the A1, it's slow southbound between the St Neots Junction and the Black Cat roundabouts. And looking at the speed sensors in Aspendon on the A10 northbound, that's looking busy on London Road just before the BP roundabouts. In Little Haddam on the A120, that's slow westbound around Albury Road. And in Borehamwood on the A1, there are queues southbound between the Holiday Inn and Barnet Lane at Stirling Corner. On the motorway, so looking at the cameras, it's looking fairly quiet and no reports of any problems on the trains. Samantha Bruff, BBC Three Counties Radio.
Across beds, hearts and bugs.
This is BBC Three Counties Radio.
It's 8:30. I'm Simon Oxley. Bedfordshire Police are calling for people to report homophobic hate crime. They say people need to have the courage to report it and will raise the rainbow flag at police headquarters in Kempston. Network rail workers will begin a 24-hour strike on Bank Holiday Monday, the 25th of May. Members of the RMT union will walk out at 5 p.m. in a dispute over pay. And a memorial garden for babies and children at Milton Keynes Hospital has been vandalised. A water feature was smashed and memorial stones taken. One parent has now set up an online page to raise funds to repair it.
Three Counties Sports.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Wycombe Wanderers are through to the League Two playoff final at Wembley after beating Plymouth at Adams Park last night. The Chairboys won 2-1 on the night with first-half goals from Paul Hayes and Alfie Mawson to win 5-3 on aggregate. Here's manager Gareth Ainsworth.
I'm so proud of the team. I'm so pleased that we can be optimistic about Wycombe Wanderers because, one, off the pitch, things are going in the right direction because of Andrew Howard, and on the pitch, we've gelled quicker than anyone would thought. And in our wildest dreams, we never thought we'd get to Wembley this year. So the optimism has been back at Wycombe, and that hasn't been there for many years.
And long-serving midfielder Matt Bloomfield is looking forward to the final.
If you're going to get promoted, the best way is to do it at Wembley, have a day out for the fans. They've been with us all season, and it's a thank you to them for last year staying with us all through this season. They've been absolutely fantastic, and to do it at Wembley would be just amazing. So it'll be a great day out for everybody, and we'll be doing everything we can to make sure it finishes on a high. But if you're going to do it, then why not do it at Wembley?
But Stevenage miss out on Wembley after losing 3-1 on the night at Southend and 4-2 on aggregate. Tom Pett gave the Borough the lead. Southend missed an injury time penalty to win it, but did then score twice in the second period of extra time. Manager Graham Westley has hinted he might not be at the club next season.
My contract expires on May the 31st, and things at the club are going to change, I think, and we'll see how things evolve in the coming days and the coming weeks.
So it's Wycombe versus Southend in the League Two playoff final at Wembley. It's a week tomorrow, Saturday, May the 23rd. Tickets have gone on sale this morning. Wanderers allocated over 21,000. This evening, Middlesbrough are at home to Brentford for the second leg of their Championship playoff semi-final. Middlesbrough go into the match with a 2-1 lead, and Watford have announced their first friendly ahead of the new Premier League season will be a trip to AFC Wimbledon on Saturday, July the 11th. BBC Three Counties News and Sport. The next full bulletin is at 9.
Was a wealthy man who had a wonderful idea to bring children from all places with all kinds of faces together into a sailing ship. There were 40 boys and girls. They would sail their ship around the globe, so they called it the United World. The ship was just 3 weeks from shore when a hurricane bore it down. The waves were big as mountains. They found they would surely drown. They jumped into the lifeboats, rowed away from the wreck. They didn't count them, they hadn't time. 5 children were left behind. The children fought the storm all night, then finally fell asleep. They didn't realize the ship had been blown across a reef into the lost bushes was a watchful pair of eyes, and living in the valley lost in time, ruled over by a tyrant whose face was in a mask. The children must defeat him so they can escape at last from the lost islands. The lost islands.
I fear we're going to struggle to fill the last 30 minutes of the show because there's nothing happening. I was promised, God damn it, I was promised that once the election was over, there would be news in the newspapers. There ain't no news in the newspapers. You know that because most of them, well, they've all got the same front page, I think, haven't they? A lot of them seem to have about that. The IRA plot to kill Prince Charles and that old woman, not the poppy seller, who killed herself. There's nothing in the. I mean, look, this is it. This is what they filled the papers with. Sani Barmy. Brits scoff 250 million sandwiches a week, with triangles the most popular shape. Now, here's a thing. Triangles taste better.
They do.
But you don't get, I think, and I know this isn't true, but you don't get as much sandwich in a triangle.
You know that is true because I used to make sandwiches in triangles and there is a trick.
Well, what's the trick, mate?
You put all the filling in the middle, like in a line. Then you cut along that line, and it looks like it's really, really full, but there's very little at the back of the.
No, but I'm talking about surface area. You're still getting the same surface area, but in my mind, you're not getting the same surface area
because it's pointy.
Yeah, I tell you what tastes nicer: triangle sandwiches, grated cheese. Grated cheese is nicer than blocks of cheese.
There's a reason for that because it allows the circulation of the air, and you can taste it better.
God, when did you become so boring?
I watched QI.
Yeah, well, there you go. You see. 08459 455 5. So that's the best. That's the best story in the papers. Then they got this. It's just full of little rubbishy things. No selfie control. Oh, I mean, flipping it. Women, I don't understand this at all. This can't be true. This has to be a misprint, right? Women, God knows I'm going to fill 2 hours later on today because there's nothing. Women spend 5.5 hours a week taking an average 3 selfies a day.
What women? Some women.
Under 25s.
All right. Girls.
But hang on a minute. So 3 selfies a day, that's 21 selfies a week. How the hell is that 5.5 hours? How is that? That works out at like about 45 minutes a selfie.
Yeah, because it takes them ages. They have to get prepped for it, don't they? And do the duck face.
No, I don't.
Stand in front of the mirror and pop the hip.
I don't buy this stuff. I don't buy this stuff. No, people don't go around doing selfies all the time. I mean, apart from Dealey, obviously. His phone, if you go into the photograph section of his phone, it really is. Well, you've got to tread carefully. I mean, really. Some of the pictures there, they're not for public consumption. Well, consumption is the word. But also, it's full of selfies. It's full of selfies. He's a grown man in his 40s. He's older than me. And he spends his whole time doing that. 08459 455 555. Now, I didn't want to do this because this is kind of my standard fare. So I'm going to read it and allow you, dear listener, to pass comment, because this isn't me saying, and I've been saying this for a long time, I'm a trailblazer. Safety fears as over 70s refuse to stop driving. Ladies and gentlemen, I have been saying this for years. And now the Daily Mail says it. Your paper says it, old people. Your paper, your byline is telling you to stop driving. If you're over 70, I'd say 67, but 70, yeah, sure, why not? 08459 455 555. There are 10,000 more motorists aged 70 and over every month. Every month. So that means in the last 5 minutes, there have been 68,000 drivers over the age of 70. Or something like that. I may have got those figures wrong, but I'm going to stick to the figures that were in the paper, actually. I'm not going to extrapolate for various reasons. There are 10,000 more motorists aged 70 and over every month as older drivers refuse to give up their licences. And there are 200... there's a lot of numbers here. There are for crying out loud! There are 232 drivers over the age of 100. Oh, no. And so there are this is incredible. Listen to this. There are 232 drivers over the age of 100 and 100 drivers over the age of 232.
Do you want to know something even more chilling? Most of those people will not have taken a test.
You didn't have to in the old days. My dad never took a driving test.
Did he wear his seatbelt?
When he felt like it.
Yeah.
With the oldest being 107. Get your freak on. Did I use that in the appropriate context then?
Yeah.
I like Missy Elliott. I do like Missy Elliott. I like her. What's the song where she's driving around on a tractor? That is a good... You know what I'm talking about, don't you, Kels? You didn't expect such a hip reference from this old fart. There we go. Missy Elliott... maybe this call is Missy Elliott. Missy Elliott on the back of a tractor singing a song, and it's a good one. I don't know what it is. It's half good. Is her driving like loads of tractors? There are 4.34 million drivers. Is this right? Have they just made up numbers today?
Big numbers.
There are 4.34 million drivers over 70. Oh, no. No. Well, I mean, it's obvious then, isn't it? There's too many cars on the roads. We're not going to have enough oil to sustain us in 50 years' time. Shoot them. Not shoot. I mean, shoot. I mean, don't shoot them. I mean, get them off the road. Sorry. Oh, yeah. 320,000 more than 3 years ago, and an increase of 11%. But road safety experts, and these are experts. This isn't just me. These are experts.
Okay.
Road safety experts say not enough is being done to advise elderly drivers about their fitness to stay behind the wheel. With some, for some say all, a danger on the road. Good morning, Lynn.
Morning, Ian. How are you?
A little hesitation there, Lynn. I'm all right. My levels are all to cop today, and I don't know why. It's my fault, but it doesn't matter. I'm all right. What have you called in for, Lynn?
Well, I just thought, Ian, Letchworth have got a festival all going through all of June, and just wonder whether the team will be coming down.
No.
Oh.
But thanks for bringing it to our attention.
Oh, OK.
What festival is it, Lynn?
It's just Letchworth Festival, all sorts, really, and it goes... I think from the 13th of June right the way through.
Well, hang on a second. I poo-pooed that quite quickly, Lynn, and that was rude of me. Give us some of the things that are happening at the Letchworth Festival all through June.
Oh, there's all different things. There's garage sales, there's things in the square.
I've got a garage.
Pardon?
What things are in the square?
Well, there's dancing, there's choirs, there's all different things. There's markets and... I think this is...
That doesn't sound like a festival. That just sounds like, I don't know, a town.
It's quite a big thing, Ian, every year.
Are you going?
Yes.
What, to everything?
Well, not to everything.
Well, which bits have you... Which bits aren't you going to go to, Lynn? Which bits have you looked at and gone, oh, I'm not doing that, it looks rubbish?
Well, I haven't looked at it thoroughly. The booklet's only just come through.
OK.
So...
Well, have you got the booklet in front of you?
No, I haven't.
Oh, where is it?
It's in the car at the moment with the with paper. But
suspicious.
I can give you a ring next week.
Give us a ring. I tell you what. Give us a ring next week when there's nothing in the papers. And what we'll do is we'll pick significant dates. For example, I don't know, June the 9th, and find out what those crazy Letchworthians are up to then.
I thought JVS might come down and sing his version of Copacabana.
Oh, he's definitely
he's
coming.
Definitely there.
He's definitely JVS is.
Oh, and there's one, and also which would appeal to Jonathan, that they've got wine tasting.
Oh, he's there.
Yeah.
Well, I don't drink, Lynn, so I'm out of that. I can't go to that.
I thought we might arrange it, in fact, to go out for another evening.
For those who don't know, Lynn and I we've seen 50 Shades of Grey together, and there were loads of other people there as well. But we saw 50 Shades. Are you going to take any glow sticks to this festival, Lynn, like you did to the cinema?
Yeah, I'll wait till it's dark.
Yeah, exactly. Well, Lynn, listen, I can guarantee that Jonathan Vernon Smith will be there,
and Roberta
will be there.
Lovely.
Nick Coffer for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
Try and stop him.
I met a friend of his actually at a market stall the other week in Hitchin.
His friend's a market stall?
No, Nick. Oh dear, a friend of Nick's. He's a chef.
Was it Kevin?
I think it is Kevin. Yeah.
Kevin. All right. Well, Lynn, listen, give us a call next week and tell us what's going on in Letchworth, and we'll get the specifics. But the odds of us being down there, nil. I don't like things. Andy's in Luton. Morning, Andy.
Good morning, Ian.
What you got for us, And?
controversial as usual, aren't you, this morning? The most dangerous drivers are the young drivers who just passed their test, not the older ones in the main. And once again, your generalisation is totally wrong.
I'm reading it from the paper, mate. It's experts. Road safety experts.
Yeah, but have you seen today as well that there's a bit in the paper, I don't know, it should be in your paper, that says that the most dangerous drivers are the young ones, and they're now talking about putting restrictions on them.
Yeah, but Andy, that's like saying you can't ignore the dangerous old drivers just because there are dangerous young drivers. That's like saying, right? Do you know what? We're going to let everyone get off with rape because murder's worse. You can't.
No, it's not.
No. Well, you can't say we're going to ignore one because this one's worse. Hey, they're both bad. Let's focus on both of them.
I haven't said that there aren't some dangerous older drivers.
Right, but then why have you brought young drivers into it?
Your point was that all older drivers over 70 shouldn't be driving.
Didn't say that. No, have you been listening, Andy?
More capable
have you been listening?
The younger drivers.
The story is safety fears as over 70s. This is the Institute of Advanced Motorists.
Yeah, well, if you ask them who are the most dangerous drivers...
But that's not important. That's irrelevant, Andy. I'm not denying... No, it's irrelevant. What's that got to do with old drivers?
Because some of the older drivers are perfectly safe.
And some of the younger drivers are perfectly safe. I don't get your point. We can't ignore one just because of the other.
The point is that you're making a generalisation about the older drivers.
It's the Institute of Advanced Motorists.
There's a very similar point about the younger drivers.
But that's not the story in the paper, Andy. The story is the Institute of Advanced Motorists have got safety fears over 70s.
I love it.
I love it too, Andy. Thanks for calling, mate. Ta-ta.
Travel news for beds, cards and bugs.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
On the A1, it's slow northbound between between the St Neots Junction and the Black Cat roundabout. In Flitwick, there's reports that Station Road is blocked at the Avenue, and in Beaconsfield, it's slow on Park Lane just before the A40 London Road. In Buckingham, on the A422 the High Street, that's looking really busy at Moreton Road, and on the M25, no reports of any delays, but on the M25 Junction 21A roundabout on the North Orbital Road, that is looking quite busy at the moment. On the train departure boards, there's no reports of any delays at the moment. Samantha Bruff, BBC Three Counties Radio.
Sammy, thank you very much indeed. 8:46. Friday the 15th of May, I'm Iain Lee. These are your headlines on BBC Three Counties Radio. Bedfordshire Police are calling for people to report homophobic hate crime. A memorial garden for babies and children at Milton Keynes Hospital has been vandalised, and Wycombe Wanderers are through to the League Two playoff final at Wembley after beating Plymouth last night. But Stevenage miss out after losing in extra time at Southend. We'll have Dealey in a bit, but before that, here's the weather with Elizabeth.
Beds, Herts and Bucks weather.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Hello, very good morning to you. We've got some sunny spells developing. They'll last into the afternoon. It'll feel nice and pleasant in the sunshine too, with highs of around 16 or 17 Celsius, 63 in Fahrenheit, and just a light westerly breeze to boot. It will, of course, stay dry today and dry overnight as well. We're looking at lows of around 10 or 11 degrees. I say dry, we might just get a little bit of drizzle just with an old weather front just coming in into the early hours of the morning. We'll leave quite a lot of cloud around into tomorrow morning, but that cloud will thin and break again to leave us with some good sunny spells tomorrow. A bit cooler and a bit breezier, highs of around 15 degrees. Lots of sunny spells around through the day. Sunday I think will be a bit cloudier, but again it should be dry and it will be quite breezy. It's a northwesterly wind into next week. We might just see a few nighttime frosts, gardeners beware. A few showers around at times, but also some sunny spells, and temperatures around or just below average for the time of year. That's the forecast.
Original British drama on BBC One. Two magicians shall appear in England. The name of one shall be Fearfulness.
I am the man who is destined to restore magic to England.
The name of the other, Arrogance.
It is time for me to become the magician I am destined to be.
The first shall be governed by thieves and murderers.
Mr. Strange should know what kind of a man he is dealing with.
The second shall conspire at his own destruction.
It is the magician who thwarts us. We must destroy him utterly.
Starring Eddie Marsan and Bertie Carvel. Jonathan Strange and Mr. Norrell. Starts on Sunday night at 9 on BBC One and BBC One HD.
I'll be honest, that sounds rubbish.
Might be all right, though.
It might be, but it's not really my cup of tea.
Well, don't watch it.
Any Texas?
Yeah.
Go on, I can see them.
Oh, can you?
I didn't close the text box. I can see them.
So why are you pretending?
It's the theatre of the mind. The mind.
Okay.
Mind.
And
Read.
scene.
Go.
In 1981, I was jaywalking, not me, Mark in Bedford. Different Mark in Bedford from the one before, if you were listening earlier on. If not, it doesn't matter. In 1981, I was jaywalking across Midland Road to the Nag's Head in Bedford, specific, wearing a dress as we punks did. A copper drove past and shouted, "You may look like a fairy, but there's no need to act like one." Not homophobic, but I did laugh a lot, says Mark of Bedford.
Scott's asking, when is the big tour starting up again? Soon, Scott. Very, very soon.
Yeah. Jonathan's taking it to Letchworth.
Isn't it?
Rainbow flags at police headquarters, says John. What the flip? It's a police station, not an advertising building. What next? Flags for the RSPCA, disabled, Muslims, lollipop men, etc. My God, policemen will have pink helmets next, says Logical John.
Gay Muslim lollipop man in a wheelchair is the title of my autobiography, which will be in all good bookshops soon. Steph's on the line. Morning, Steph.
Good morning.
What have you got for us, Steph?
Just wanted to discuss about the older drivers. I'm regular listener and very regular driver, unfortunately.
I'm sorry to hear that.
But my experience is that there are some really horrendously bad elder drivers out there. My concern is we just don't have any way to regulate them. We're basically, at the minute, it's a case of when they think they're not fit, then they can stop. We should have something a bit stronger in place, i.e. testing, even if it's not a heavy-handed exam per se, but just someone sitting with them maybe once a year.
I agree, and I've kind of avoided doing this this story because I've talked about this a lot, but it's in the papers, and that's exactly what this story is saying, that we don't know when people are are past it when it comes to driving. Your eyesight goes and your reaction time slows down, and at some point, some older drivers can become a risk. And the thing is, we don't notice our own body deteriorating either, do we?
No, we really don't. I mean, a prime example would be, bless her, my mother. She was on some fairly heavy medication towards the end of her life, but she wouldn't give up driving. And then we did take away the keys.
Oh, blimey, I bet that was hard work.
Yeah, but that was only after one event where she scared herself and everybody else silly because she accidentally went out on morphine because she didn't realise what was in the tablets.
How did that conversation go where you took Mum's keys?
I can remember it being fairly difficult. She was kind of slightly pouty bottom lip, but actually, because she'd scared herself so badly, she was just like, okay.
Oh, dear. Oh, dear, for both of you, because it's a horrible position for both of you to be in, isn't it, really? But well done, for being the responsible daughter.
Sometimes it's got to be done, but some people don't have those people around them.
No, they don't. And we all know that there are some rubbish young drivers, but that's, doesn't mean that you shouldn't talk about rubbish older drivers, and we can look at both sides of the coin. Steph, I appreciate your call. Thank you very much indeed. Talking about bodies deteriorating, it's Justin. Morning, Just.
Yeah, morning, boss.
You're right, fella.
Yeah, do you know what? I would love to see that flag you're talking about.
The rainbow flag?
Yeah, no. The flag that I think possibly our listeners could create. I think you were talking about a flag there for people that are gay, disabled, Muslim.
Lollipop man in a wheelchair.
Yeah, it'd be a great flag.
Wouldn't it be fantastic? If you've got any kids under the age of 8 that want to draw it, send it into the BBC competition. They're more than welcome to. Prizes £1 million. No, it's not. I've got to say it's not. You're not even allowed to joke about stuff like that at the BBC. You can't even joke about giving away £1 million.
Because I get phone calls from people who say it sounded real. He didn't say it was a joke.
Someone phoned up to complain, Justin. A, that I sang my boys' song about head, shoulders, bums and willies.
Yes.
And B, that I said I was going to pull off the wings of butterflies. Now, I mean, well, of course I am, but I'm not going to film it. I'm going to Periscope it. If you want to see it live, follow me on Periscope, whatever that is. Justin!
Yes?
You are the Lisa Mambuzo of BBC Three Counties Radio, the BBC Showbiz correspondent, except you do it with feeling.
Yeah, sad news again today. Just looking through some of the Twitter comments about B.B. King.
Yep, passed away, 89.
Yeah, absolute legend. I mean, Ringo has been talking about this. Ringo says, God bless B.B. King, peace and love to his family. But I think the one which stands out for me is Lenny Kravitz, who says, B.B., anyone could play 1,000 notes and never say what you said in one, which I think is a lovely tribute.
Of course, what Lenny Kravitz said was, "Are you going to go my way?"
Great track.
Are you going to go my way? Down, down, down. I've gone into the A-team. Down, 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 down. Anyway, BB King, he's passed away. We broke the news on the show. You've taken it to the streets, Just.
Yeah, happened about 6:30 this morning, the announcement. I've taken to the streets and put together a tribute to the absolute legend, Mr. BB King. Take a listen. The King of Blues, B.B. King. He affectionately called his guitar Lucille. He fathered 15 children, sold millions of records worldwide, and was inducted into the Blues Foundation Hall of Fame and the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. As a kid, he purchased a guitar at the age of 14. He started as a gospel singer until he realised he could make more money playing blues.
If I sing a gospel song, which most times they would request, they'd pat me on the head. That's nice, son. That's good. Keep it up. They never put anything in the hat. But a guy asked me to play something that was bluesy, so I tried to do it. Then they would always give me a tip.
He started recording in 1949 and in 1953 went on a tour which didn't really stop. He's influenced so many rock stars over the years with his style of playing, and his fan base grew after working with the Rolling Stones, Eric Clapton and U2. Even in his 80s, BB King continued to play and wow audiences. So we're on the streets because the sad news has just broken about BB King, who's just passed away.
Yeah, he's a blues legend, you know. Great age, but his music will be missed.
BB King, the real deal, a blues legend who has died in Vegas at the age of 89.
OK, Justin, your starter for 10. What does BB stand for?
I don't know. I've got no idea.
Let's ask Gatford. Morning, Gatford.
Big Band.
Sorry?
Big Band.
What?
Big Band King.
What?
It's BB, the Big Bad King.
You said Big Band?
Big Bad.
You said Big Band.
Yeah, well, originally, before he was a blues
he doesn't play big band music, you plum.
Well, he liked it, and this was his tribute.
Flipping out.
Do you want me to do a bit of BB King?
Not really.
Oh, OK, fine.
What have you called in for, Gat?
Well, you mentioned giving away £1 million, and I'm quite interested in that.
Flipping it. This is where it gets uncomfortable.
This
is it. I've got a tense, nervous headache. I need tunes.
Hi, Justin, by the way.
Hi, Gatford.
Hi. Love you.
Yeah, you too, boss.
Yeah, I've looked it up on Wikipedia as well, Kels, I know. I know the answer. I've Wikipedia'd it.
Oh, come on. We know that can't be true.
We're giving away £1 million, Gatford.
Right, OK, yeah, ask me the question.
The question is, OK, and I'm going to give you a little bit of thinking time, OK? The question is, what did BB stand for £1 million? What did BB stand for? And if you get this right, Gatford, you get, and this is genuine now, because I've said it, and we're the BBC, right. You get £1 million.
Oh boy.
Can you Google it quick enough? What did
not, no.
Ask Jeeves? You can Bing it if you want, and Bing might be a clue.
I was going to use
BB stand for? You got 5 seconds.
This could change your life.
This could change both of our lives.
Yeah.
Gatford, what did BB stand for? For £1 million. I have to take an answer. For
Big
one.
Band.
I nearly called you a Richard Head then. I started saying it. Yeah, I did. I started saying it and I realised where I was. Gatford, no, completely wrong. It's Kelly Betts for £1 million. Do you know what the answer is?
Yes.
Good. It's Blues Boy.
No, it's not. Yes, it was, but it was from the Beale Street Blues Boy.
No, that's not what... No, the question was, what did BB stand for?
Blues Boy.
He stood for good music and good times, just.
He did, yeah.
It's like, what does Tesco stand for? Great value.
Well...
Every little helps.
Well...
So do the others. They're all good too.
Yeah, but that's the one I'd recommend. couldn't say this at the other place. I'm getting out of my system before I go up there. Blues Boy, Justin, you owe me £1 million, mate. What's happening on the show tomorrow?
On the show tomorrow from midday, the charts from this weekend in 1976, I believe, and we're doing a wedding song special tomorrow.
Oh, I'm looking forward to hearing a lot of punk music tomorrow then.
Yes, I'm sure you won't.
The Sex Pistols, the Buzzcocks, bit of the Clash.
Tammy Wynette, Divorce.
Travel news for beds, cards and bugs.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
In Flitwick, the station road is blocked by a breakdown at the High Street. Stu called to say that it's blocked, and it does seem to be still causing problems. In Aspendon on the A10, that's slow northbound just before London Road at the BP roundabouts. In Beaconsfield on Park Lane, that's slow on all approaches to the A40 roundabout as London Road. And in Cheshunt on the A10 Great Cambridge Road, that's looking slow southbound towards the M25 junction, 25 for Enfield. Looking at the train departure boards, and there's no reports of any problems at the moment. Samantha Bruff, BBC Three Counties Radio.
Sammy, thank you. 2 reasons to go to facebook.com/BBC3CR. You get to see a picture of Brian Byrne, who has gone missing, and we spoke to his daughter earlier on. She's trying to find him. You also get to see Justin Dealey dressed up in a wedding outfit, and he's in a morning suit. It really is, well, he's touching lots of men. It's the oddest video you're ever going to see. New podcast out soon. Until Monday from us. Ta-ta!
Local and vocal across beds, hearts and bucks.
This is BBC Three Counties Radio.
Thank you, Ian. Good morning. Welcome to the JVS show. I'm Jonathan Vernon Smith. It's Friday. It's 9 o'clock, and on today's big phone-in, do you think Nigel Farage should resign? Nigel Farage has ruled out standing down as leader of the party, despite a bitter row over his future. Last night on the BBC's Question Time, he claimed to have a phenomenal level of support within UKIP, but just days ago he was described by the campaign chief as snarling, aggressive and thin-skinned. And the party treasurer Hugh Williams, donor Stuart Wheeler and ex-MEP Godfrey Bloom, they've all suggested he should go. Well, this morning I want to hear your reaction to this big story today. Do you think Nigel Farage should resign? Pick up that phone, come on and have your say on 08459 455 555.
This is the JVS show
on BBC Three Counties Radio.
I'll take your call in just a second, but first let's get the latest BBC News at 9 o'clock. Here's Simon Oxley.
The headlines: Wickham heading for Wembley, but Stevenage miss out. Bedfordshire Police urge people to report homophobic hate crime, and Memorial Garden vandalised at Milton Keynes Hospital.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Wycombe Wanderers are through to the League Two playoff final at Wembley after beating Plymouth at Adams Park last night. Gareth Ainsworth's side will face Southend next Saturday after they beat Stevenage.
If we can do the job at Wembley, there will be a high-key celebration there, believe me. But tonight, we've won a game, we've got to Wembley. Yes, we want to celebrate with the fans, and you've done fantastic for us. I'm sure the boys will be having a beer amongst ourselves, but publicly, we haven't achieved anything yet.
Meanwhile, Stevenage boss Graham Westley has questioned whether he will be at the club next season following their extra-time defeat. Bedfordshire Police are calling for people to report homophobic hate crime. They say people need to have the courage to report it and will raise the rainbow flag at police headquarters in Kempston. John Boucher is the Deputy Chief Constable.
I think far too long we've sort of, not taken these terrible, terrible crimes seriously enough. We are doing that now. Hate crime is a priority for the force in Bedfordshire. We had double the reports last year with regards to homophobic crimes because of the confidence people have